Hey guys, welcome back to Themis and Thought. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking, go and get this. So the other day I was live and I have to address this now. Someone said, when I was watching the replay, someone asked if I was wearing makeup. I am not wearing I appreciate that. I really do. I am not wearing I am not wearing makeup. But I I appreciate that. Separately, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear this. Could you hear that? Please let me know if you could hear that. If you can hear that sound, please let me know. I'm going to start the intro video. So see you guys in a second. Wait, did you guys hear the open? Did you guys hear? Let me hear if you hear this this booing sound. Did you guys hear the booing sound or no? Yes? All right. You guys heard it. All right, cool. I was trying to do some things. All right. Hey, Erica. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to drop the link in a moment. So I had a ton of stats that I wanted to go over in the beginning. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to open this up so that people can come on from the get-go, and then we're going to talk. Hopefully we can speak generally, and hopefully everyone is ready to be accountable and be truthful. Honesty is super important for this conversation. However, if there is no honesty, then we might have to pull receipts and things like that. Hopefully we don't have to do this. This is going to be men and a fruitcake. So people are upset that I say fruitcake. I do that because I don't care, one, and two, if that is how you see me, that's fine. Like I really don't care. I'll be the odd person out, and then everyone else can do what they want, right? So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and we are going to come up. Hopefully London is here, because I actually want to talk to him directly. DMS, the booing sound was super low. Yikes. Thank you, make it right. Oh, I thought I fixed that. Let me check something really quickly. DMS and Thought, I've got my coffee, water, and tea. I have mud water, right? We have mud water back tonight. Sorry. While we wait, there are some people who asked if they could come on. I told them they could. Apparently, there are men who are upset with me regarding some of my posts. And I keep getting texts from my friends to include some of the things that they want to say on the live stream, which they won't be able to say because I need you to show your face. Hey, London.
What's going on?
Can you hear London? Can everyone hear London?
Pin the link too. Pin the link.
Oh, I'll do that. Thank you. Can you speak again?
Can you hear me now? Good. They said
yeah.
I guess they said they can.
I can hear you now. Good.
What's going on, ZZ?
Wait, why did you want us to do this live stream, by the way?
Because I was actually curious from the guy's point of view, about how they perceive, especially considering that a lot of times you get these guys saying, oh, you just hate black men, you just hate black men. But then it's like, well, when we talk about, okay, what should we be doing then in the community? Nobody ever has answers. It's always crickets. It's always, oh, we're doing everything. But then it's like, look at the state of the community. And I think it's be very interesting if they actually decide to come up.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, a lot of
twerking in the
people.
chat, we're not doing twerking in the chat today.
Yeah, no, a lot of people told me that they would come up. One of the parts of the conversation that I decided to make the video title is there is this misconception that if you are a black man who is in the quote unquote the so-called ghetto and you act and speak a certain way, that you are the Pookie and RayRay and you are the problem, and the educated quote unquote lames are somehow better than you, and it's up to women to decide who to be with. I think that dichotomy is a false one.
It's too black and white as well.
Yeah, definitely, it paints with a broad brush two groups of people who have more similarities than differences in some cases. That's the first thing. But the second part, it feels like the conversation about manhood and good manhood is only in relation to women, and not more broadly about community. When you think about, if you say women should pick the good man or the bad man or whatever, it only focuses on the woman's choice in determining whether a man is good or bad, when there's a broader community who should be deciding what a good man should be, right? So I'm actually I have someone posted a comment that I was reading. That's just coming up. Let's not name call. I was actually excited because I thought there would be a lot of people coming on, based on the emails that I've received and based on this. I've invited a lot of people who commented under this because I think this post was misinterpreted to mean something about going abroad for wives. A lot of people who were Jamaican who came to America decide to go back to Jamaica to marry. That's not what I'm talking about. And so I do want people to come on so that they have specific disputes to come. Sorry, I'm getting like a million text messages of people who are saying they're too afraid to come up.
Oh, wow. See, that's what I'm saying, though. Now, if this was, we got smoke for Women's Day, I bet all these dudes would be up here.
It's interesting because now I'm going to open the panel up to women, because if we don't have men come up, then this was a bust, and you guys cannot say that I did not open it up for men to come up. But
I mean,
he's watching it live, and he's texting me now. He's saying,
does he know he doesn't have to come on video? He can just be off camera. That's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Oh, you making him? Oh, you making him come on? Oh, okay.
If you're coming on, if you're coming on, you have to be on camera, right? And the reason is, I want you to stand fully behind what you say. I don't want this to be a time where people get to come up and say, "Oh, go off," because they don't have their face shown. No, you don't get to go off.
Fair enough.
You do not get to go off. You get to sit here and stand. Bleep, I see you in the back, but your camera is off. Like, there's 3 other people in the back with their cameras off. I am not putting anyone on here that their camera is off. I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. Not tonight. Because the thing is, I recognize that this discussion can become hugely explosive, right? And that's fine. But be willing to stand in what you say. You know what I mean? Like, don't think about, oh, I have a job and I want to protect the job. No, if you can't say it on the job, then you probably shouldn't be saying it here either. So I am unwilling to allow anyone on who is unwilling to show their face. Bleep, is that
okay?
But
the ceiling,
not the ceiling.
Well, since he's looking up there, he might want to check his fire alarm, make sure ain't no beeps in the background.
Uh, be be bleep. That's what we just. Is this what we're doing? Is this?
Hold on. Maybe they adjusted themselves. I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. For me, I'm gonna be honest
No,
about
no, 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 no. No, you don't get to talk until your face is showing. I appreciate you, but you don't get to talk unless your face is showing. Oh, here you go. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, this we go. I'm gonna do my head right there. Okay, you got my head. There we go.
We can't see your face.
Well, that's how it is. You got my head. I'm Wilson from
There we
Tim
go.
and Toolman Taylor.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Wilson from Tim and Toolman Taylor. That's all you're gonna see. You know.
Bleep, I muted you. I can't see your face at all, and I don't know if that's intentional, but I cannot see your face, and your mic seems a bit odd. But go ahead.
Okay, you can see my forehead. That's what you're gonna see. I mean, this is my thing about that.
Whoa, hold on.
Oh, no. See, I was about to let you do it, but now that you said that, I'm inclined to say no, but I'm going to let you do it because tonight I'm feeling graceful. Go ahead.
I mean, my thing about this, so when it comes to the conversation, the audience actually build, best on reading this comment section, I just feel like, those valid points in the Pookie and RayRay conversation. And I don't care to get in these on channels like this because I see it as overall. I'm not going to say something as simplistic as pro-black women, but I feel like a lot of women in the comment section get this idea that black men are always going to be the scapegoat and all black men are Pookies and Ray Rays and we're all ain't shit no matter what we do. And I feel like the conversation is kind of redundant to have. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like most average black women hate average black men anyway. So it's like, why have the conversation instead?
Did you just say most black women? Did you just say most black women hate the average black man?
Yeah, I mean, it's like judging by your comment section and the woman who watches in the audience. Yeah, and what I've seen said in these comment sections. Yeah, and I'm saying all that, but this comment
Can I push
section,
back?
what the channel goes to. Oh yeah.
Can I push back on
you're,
this?
You're not willing to have the conversation. I mean, if you're not willing to have it, then we're fine. We can just move on. But London wanted to push back.
Most black women actually love black men. They just want y'all to do better. And that's the problem. They just want y'all to not be misogynistic, not treat them like trash, treat them like human beings. And that's all. I don't see where these women are just like, we hate black men just because. No, this is this has been years of them being there for us and not getting any reciprocity in the return. Really is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. So, I mean, Bleep, you said you're not willing to have that conversation. So I don't thank you for coming on, I guess. I think you said that means you're done, right? I can't hear you. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself? All right. I don't know what's happening with you. You probably have to leave and come back again. All right. Adrian.
Cricket Wireless.
How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing? First time up here. I'm happy to see both of you.
I'm happy you finally came up.
Gotta show before.
Yo, what a guan.
There, boss. I do have smoke for you. But yes.
Oh,
no,
good. Yes.
Smoke. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get my water ready.
Okay. 4 points. It's okay. I think I first started watching you April of 2021. Because that's when Kevin Samuels was on his clip about when he talked about that woman being six figures. And was like, you're like a 6 or 5 or whatever. And that blew up on Twitter. And then I was like, what is this high value man thing? Right. So I searched it up on YouTube, and your video, like talking about him and defining what a high value man was. that brought me to your channel. So like I've been watching you since April 2021. I've been binge watching your channel down to when you were talking about politics with I don't know.
Why I feel like you're buttering me up for a drag? All right, go ahead.
When you're talking about politics with the I don't know, the fair skinned woman. I don't remember her name. But going past that, I think more recently is where I've like no pun intended. There's muddied water. Is when you went. I love the infantilization of young black girls and young black women and black women in general. That entire video, I was at work. I watched the entire thing, listened to it, we watched it.
So the adultification.
But yeah, adultification, formerly the infantilization of black women. And I realized you said there's no proper age to essentially adultify or where boys turn to men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but when you were doing a drama, essentially newscast, and you brought up the Brittany Renner and PJ Washington thing, and when I was reading up on it, I was like, there's something weird about this. She met him when he was 18 and didn't have his child until he's 22. So I was like, okay.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that I should have said Brittany Renner?
Yeah, you overlooked the predatory nature of the entire.
You think Brittany Renner was being predatory to PJ?
Yeah, because looking at him, I was looking at it from what I was doing at the age of 18, and I was like, I was gullible to this day. I'm very gullible. I've been played. I've been a sucker, like you say, sucker. You sucker, you gonna suck. And
get licked. I never said
get licked. Yeah, you gonna get licked. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty harsh. But I'm like, yeah, it's just something that happens, right? But I was like, okay, maybe I'm overreacting. And then essentially, while we're coming up now, I was like, I'm confused with when you're addressing both young black men and older black men. So it feels like the older black the if you know the sins of the father trope.
Yeah.
The father would go around the world doing all he wanted to do, destroy, kill, or save a world or whatever. The son or the child of the father is the one who has to who has to take all the bad that comes with it after the father dies. So I feel like younger black men, even though we're just coming into everything, we're learning what we're doing, it feels like we're trying to fight for our right to not be blamed for stuff we haven't participated in.
Wait. Let's go back to PJ.
Yes, okay.
So the smoke you have for me is that I treated PJ as an adult and I didn't have much empathy for him. Is that correct?
Yes, I'll give you that.
Because I have zero empathy for him. Like, you are correct in that. No, you are. Brittany Renner, prior to meeting PJ, right, or having his child, made videos on how to finesse men. And he called them dumb. And if you want to have a child with, if you want to get money out of these football players, just have their child because they are dumb and they don't use a condom. If you see Brittany Renner as this big figure and you want to go date her, and this is not to drag her, that's on you. Like, she literally, it's like, what's her name? Omarian's baby mother.
Oh, is it April Jones?
Yeah, she's apparently dating this black actor guy
Tate Diggs, I think it is.
Diggs, right? If he goes and marry her and she takes half of his wealth, like, there is this notion, right? There's some ideas around preferences and the willingness of us, well, I'm not included, but black men, to look past these women's stated goals and objectives and all of that, and they will go headfirst into relationship with these women because they're quote unquote exotic, right? part of this has to do with colorism. I don't know that this is true for PJ, right? I really don't. But we know that a lot of Black men have come out online and talked about their preferences and all of that. So if you are willing to date and have a child with this person, right? And this is going to come back to men, right?
Mhm.
If you are willing to have it, then it's your responsibility, right? Similarly, when a woman decides to have a child with a man, it is her responsibility. It is also the man's responsibility. So I don't know if you were going to put the juxtaposition. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this. So I'm going to leave it and see if you go there yourself.
No.
There is. You can call me out for sort of hypocrisy, but it's not actually hypocrisy. But I was hoping you would call me out. No, but it's his fault. Like, you're a grown man. You chose to sleep with this woman who told you she's going to finesse you. She literally told you verbatim, no matter how much of a child you think you are, this woman said, I'm going to finesse football players by having their children and taking their money. And then you went and had a child with this woman and she took your money. I mean, she told you what she was going to do. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have sympathy. Maybe I should. In some other universe, I have some sympathy. Not in this one. Not in this one. Absolutely not in this one.
Do you think he should have? I'm sorry. Do you think he should have heeded the warnings online that were telegraphed to him before he even messed with her in the first place, though?
No, I don't think. Oh, you're talking, Adrian?
Yeah, if she has videos saying that she would do this and they're dumb, do you think that he should have been more responsive to that and been like, maybe I shouldn't mess with somebody with her character?
That's a good question. I think if you are part of the internet and you've essentially followed this person, yes, you should have heeded all those warnings. Even if you have to talk to your boys and your boys figure it out, you should have heeded those warnings. But we're assuming that he's seen any of these videos. He's interacted with this woman other than in person.
I would.
So he is too rich to not have investigated.
Wait, no, but Rich doesn't.
Well, let me say this though. See, this is the problem. She's messed with other NBA players, other athletes, and stuff like that. So the crowd that he would be in would know her. He could have asked somebody else if he really wanted to know.
And I was asking one more thing. Does his age play a part in any of this? If it doesn't, it's understandable.
If he were 18, no.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
So I would have given him grace if he was for there are certain decisions you make when you're 18, 16, 17, 18, that I do think we have to take into consideration your brain development. Like, I do fundamentally believe that. When someone tell you directly they're going to use you,
that's where
they're going to have a child with you to use you. No, nope, no, absolutely not.
And there are plenty of kids who are under 18 who know who Brittany Renner was before she got famous. I mean, she was at all the college games and stuff like that. I mean, she was very known.
I can't believe that's the smoke you have. I feel like I've talked about more controversial things. I can't believe
you have, but I do agree with you. But I'll say the feminist one is not really, because I'm not a feminist.
You don't believe men and women should be equal?
I don't think men and women can be equal. I believe in equity for black. No, I believe in equity. No.
That is not the question I asked.
No. Should be equal?
Should men and women be equal?
No.
Oh, why not?
Coming from my standpoint, men and women.
Wait. Actually, sorry. Define equal.
Okay. From essentially socio-political economic standpoint, men and women should be given the same amount of, I would say, same head start. They should be given the same amount of resources, should be considered the same way when then they're observed in public or in the entire and within our society. They should be observed as equal individuals. Regardless of their gender, they should be observed as equal individuals.
So do you believe the women should have the same political rights as men?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I was about to say. I'm like, this is not a hard question.
All right. Do you think men and women should have the same social rights?
No.
All right. Do you think men and women should have the same economic rights?
No.
All right. Wait. Go ahead.
Break that down.
I need you to explain social rights. Why should men and women not have the same social rights?
London is looking at me like, no. Okay, coming from my standpoint. Okay, come from Jamaica specifically.
No, I'm Jamaican. Don't play that game.
I'm not using. No, that's what I was. I've only been in this country for 2015. That's all I know. But come from Jamaica specifically. All I know is that women and men are treated differently. Essentially, so women and men should be treated with respect. That's understandable. You should treat all beings with respect. But the same mannerisms you would treat a man, you should. I don't think you should be treating with women. You shouldn't be treating women as roughly as you treat with men. You shouldn't be. When it comes
I like this turn.
You shouldn't.
Boy, funny. I'm sorry.
It's always the Jamaicans. You shouldn't essentially the way how you behave or talk to men. There's understanding you should be kind to each other, but the way how men and women interact with socially should not be same or similar, because women and men won't completely understand or behave the same towards each other. Economic.
All right, So I agree with you on that very small point. And it's not that I'm not a feminist. It is I don't speak to men and women exactly the same in my everyday life. I try to do it here. But I am more careful with women. I think that might be wrong.
Same.
I think that might be wrong.
I
don't think that's enough to say they shouldn't be socially equal.
I'll say what you go again. I'll say chivalry. You don't use chivalry on men. I've never used chivalry on men, but no one is coming up.
Open the door for men.
You do? More power to you.
Anyone who is behind me, I open the door for them.
Yeah, and I personally hate when you get to a door and it closes on you.
You go your way to be chivalrous to men?
I go out of my way to do the same thing. Like I open the door for them. Women, I guess I don't walk on the outside for men.
So the small things that people say, oh, that's a man right there, is mostly because of essentially how we're raised in a essentially conservative culture, and also because of the laws of chivalry. You could also put into I'll reference any type of conflict, such as the war in Ukraine. Men and women are treated differently. Am I wrong?
No, but you keep going back. They are, but I'm asking, should they?
Yes.
All right. I would be uncomfortable saying men. I would be uncomfortable saying women should be going to war. I would.
Same.
I would be very. I will give you that. I don't think you could get me to say that.
I would never say that.
London.
Yep. No, I wouldn't. I don't think women should go to war either. I don't think they should be on the front lines. Now, if they wanted to be nurses in the back, all the way to the back, and they the nurses,
absolutely not. That is sexist. How dare you?
What?
Absolutely not.
Here's one. Okay, I'll give you this one thing about feminism. Feminism, ever since its beginning, giving the woman the choice or the ability to choose whatever they want to do is something I'm behind. The choice, giving the woman the choice, is something I'm 100% behind. But the overall putting to policy and different things, I'm not. But is that you want me to move over to the economics?
I muted you for a second. No, did you just say women should be nurses in the back? Who said that? London, I think you said that.
I don't think they should be on the front lines. I think that if you're like, I would trust them with my health in that situation, but I wouldn't want them shooting no gun in front of a tank.
Look, not you.
I'm sorry. I'm not putting them in front of no tank.
Girl, this is sexist. I did not know this was where this was gonna go tonight. All right. So what I was saying, let me clarify what I was saying.
I'm gonna give you an example. The guy in Ukraine I watched the war. A guy ran up and blew up a bridge to save a bunch of civilians, women, and children because he didn't want Russia to get in there. I would not want a woman doing that.
No. I look. I would not say women should go out and fight. I'm not going to say. What I'm not going to say is that they should be in the back. I am saying whatever
I'm not putting
they
them on the front
want,
lines.
whatever they feel comfortable doing, they should be able to do.
I guess, but I'm not putting them on the front lines. I'm sorry. I don't believe they should be on the front lines. That's just personal. I guess if you call that sexy, that's fine.
No. I'm not calling you a sex. Well, I mean, if the shoe fits. I would not put them on the front line unless they wanted to go on the front line. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right. Tomatoes are allowed in the chat, by the way. You can throw tomatoes.
Oh, y'all.
All right, go ahead, Adrian. So, I mean, I don't think that makes you not a feminist still, but let's go to the economics, because that's the part that I care most about.
Oh, same. Okay. The way how products, I'll go from this point. Just want to put this out there first. The way how products or marketing.
Pause. I think the women in the chat are mad at me for the first time. Y'all gonna drag me, please. This is an open season on Themis for putting you guys in war. Please drag me in the chat. Go ahead, Adrian.
Okay. The way how products or marketing or advertisements affect women or marketed to women and are essentially the pink tags. I'm sorry. That's not a battle I got for you. That's just an L you have to take. I apologize. Is my opinion. The pink tax is something that is avoidable.
Can you explain the pink tax for people who don't know?
Okay, the pink tax essentially is this women products that are advertised or marketed to women, and they're given like a different color, essentially color pink, vibrant colors. When they're advertised women, and they're the same product, they're given a higher price range. So like I'll say a box of male razors essentially is like $5, but a box of female for female razors are essentially $25, and there's no difference other than they're pink, right? That to my opinion is something you can avoid. I will leave that alone.
Should men and women be paid the same? Let's just go right to
yes,
it.
men and women be paid the same. But what I say, but when I say economically, I want to integrate what men don't go through, but women do. So periods are going through their menstrual cycle. Some women go through.
By the way, sorry. Agreed. Eden, this is my position, by the way. This is literally my position. Go ahead.
Okay. I would say menstrual cycles and even childbirth. Women should be the health and overall wellness of the woman should be prioritized. So giving them extra days off, or essentially putting them, giving those like essentially mental days off, is and essentially not giving it to men because they don't have to go through that, is something I want to be implemented. So that's why I say equality is not. I see where everyone wants to go with equality, but equity is the best option for women, because you need to take into consideration everything a woman goes through. So you go through from she was a child into when she's becoming old, when she wants to go into the workforce, if she doesn't want to go into the workforce, if she wants to become a mother, or then leave being a mother and then go back into the workforce. Women should be taken into consideration for womanhood. Men,
so you believe men should be able to provide for women then?
Based on how it's going, yes.
Oh, I thought you were trying to think about that, because that should be a very straightforward.
No. Because here's the problem. I've been thinking about that. The word "should" is operative in your question. The word "should," but I feel like ever since I've been trying to understand masculinity for myself, right? I try to understand why. I question everything. Why should men do that, right? And to my knowledge, it's mostly because of that's tradition, and it's not. No,
women have children. women go through a ton in terms of their body and transformation of their body in order to produce life. And I'm not saying just because of that, but that is a huge part of like extending the population, right? Like, even if you're gay, like, let me be clear, I feel like men should be taking care of women, like, period. That this is the part of my feminism that I've never gotten over, because I do think men should take care of women.
I'm with that, but what given operative that there's some women that will never have children.
Doesn't matter.
Cool. Hey, that's where you lie on. What is the given that there's some men that don't even want to be partnered up?
Doesn't matter. You still have a community. Like, it doesn't. If someone is gay, that does not prevent them from their role and responsibility in the community, in my opinion. Like, you still have a role in the community to protect it and to care for it. And so, no, you don't get no. Even if you want to be paired up, you still have a responsibility. I don't have children, and I have like 10 nieces and nephews unrelated to me that I try to help with. So,
no. But the thing is that, okay, I'm not talking about money, because I myself have taken care of at least 6 children, and none of them are mine, right? I don't have any children, to be honest. I've taken care of my siblings and my younger cousins. But the thing is that most of my money any money I've made, I've sent it back to school, because I'm.
Wait 1 second. Chivalry is a code of conduct practiced by military. Oh, we're talking about chivalry in the sort of colloquial sense, not actual chivalry. But I get what you're saying. Thank you, by the way. Is it me? Demus, why would women go to war? It's not advantageous for men to put women. Yeah, I don't think. I think it's. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking
my point.
I was thinking about whether or not women wanted to. But if I were a man, I think the most.
If I
were a man in charge. Sorry, that's what I meant. If I were a man in charge of like facilitating, you only need a couple men to reproduce.
Yeah, I won't say
you really only need a couple. One woman can only be pregnant once for 9 months. Like, it's important to take care of them. It is super important for the species for us to make sure women are good. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But no, going back to economic.
Wait, before you go, OBI is in the back. Again, there are like 5 people in the back. I am unwilling to put you guys on if you don't have camera on. Like, I can see this going left real quick, real fast, and I'm fine with it going left once I know the person I'm talking to is willing to stand up and say, look, this is who I am, this is my face, and this is what I'm saying. If you're not willing to do that, then no, you don't get to come up here and twerk.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish. Okay, let me finish the profile before you start again. Other than economic, because that it's not that I want men to be paid more than women. The way how things go, as long as women have children, men are still gonna have an advantage of making more money, regardless of demographic, race, all of that. Going back into it, I feel like women should have much more of an advantage in going into the economy, because one of the largest aspects of our economy is unpaid labor of women, domestic unpaid labor for women, because none of that is paid for. None of that, there's no compensation. You birth your child, it's your responsibility. You take care of it, regardless of if you have any assistance or not. And I feel like there should be something implemented for that, but to my knowledge, I don't know how. So it's something I would ride for, but I can't. And one last thing, I do have smoke for Themeless, because I've never, I will say right here,
Here we go.
I've never touched any other than the Abba and Preach. I've never touched any type of manosphere content until you brought into. You're the only place I will ever find manosphere content. And
I don't think Abba and Preach are manosphere though.
Huh?
Abba and Preach are manosphere.
They're manosphere adjacent. They look from the outside.
He's saying I introduced him to manosphere content.
Yes, and I regret every aspect because you essentially bring up all these people I've never heard about, I've never seen, I've never been suggested, and you keep going at them, and I'm like, I don't want to go to these people's channels to see this video to see what he's talking about, and I
No, but
never.
you don't. But the thing is, the problem, I would have laughed that off. But the problem is, you don't get to put your head in the sand and pretend like this is not happening. So the more men, no, I know you're not. The more men I can get on my side to say, yeah, this is wrong, the better. Like the more men I get to come over and say, yeah, no, we're not standing for this. It's better. It makes women who are upset, rightfully so,
Oh,
they get to see that there are men standing with them, and saying, no, this is wrong. We shouldn't be treating women like this.
I understand where you're coming from, and I'm always. If you go on March to this day, because you're in DC, I'm in Delaware. Tell me, I will.
I'm
I
not
will.
in DC anymore. I
Where,
flew that. I'm on Mars.
as you should. If I have to talk to Elon Musk myself to take my first trip to Mars, I will participate in whatever you need me to do. I couldn't do it during the rides because I had a family. I had while my cousins and other older siblings had to go to work, I had to take care of the children because I wasn't at school. But if I'm not in a position, I hope my roommates don't hear this.
Not roommates. I'm kidding. I'm in college.
I'm 23. I know.
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
need
kidding.
that.
I'm kidding.
With that, I understand. The problem is, I think the most traumatic part of it is when I think it was the so-called live, when Mr. So-called came on, and and you started, the so-called thing,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
and this woman literally said, "Black men are the originators of white supremacy and black supremacy," and I had to stand and sit and think about that. Yet, Annalisa was causing me even more type of trauma because
Okay, no. What we're not going to do is call out any woman in the chat. This is
no, no,
not
no, no, oh,
nice.
no, oh, no,
No. Nope, not going to abide by that.
okay,
Unless Annalisa can come up here and defend herself, you don't address her.
okay. With the other women, the other women in the chat that were
No,
also
don't address the woman in the
no,
chat.
okay.
Here we go.
The entire conversation was traumatic because I never knew of these things, and I had to go read them up and then go through these feelings I have. I have no smoke. Your opinions. I have no smoke. But because I'm coming from this from a brand new point of view. I don't know all these things, so I have to learn these things, and then I feel like I'm berated because I don't know these things. So I'm in a weird bubble because I don't.
Oh, it's
I
fine.
don't.
This channel hopefully will help you pop that bubble. Because no, you will be
You already have.
learning.
You already
Absolutely
have.
not.
You already have.
OBI. Do you have? Go ahead. You're on mute.
I'm just gonna chill for right now and listen. When it comes time for me to speak, I'll speak.
All right, Prince Petty. Okay, there are like 5 people in the back chat. You are not gonna come on until you put your face on, and like you don't put it on and then take it off. Like the whole point is for your face to show so that you can stand behind what you say. The women in the chat are gonna be nice. They're not. I was gonna say they're not gonna be mean, but they're already throwing tomatoes. So that's not gonna happen. Anyway, Prince Petty, you can come on, obviously. But I would like for you to first show your face before you come on. I will protect you. I will protect you from them. All right.
Not the coddling.
Let's talk about black femicide, right?
Okay.
So in 2020, every 6 hours, I know it's changed to every 5.5 hours, a black woman was killed. Not Adrian left in the middle of the, absolutely not. There he is. A black woman was killed, right? Now, if we take that, and that's not the only issue, Every day for 2020, when we break down the numbers, 25 Black men were killed. So we do have an issue. Prior to 2020, a Black woman was 2 times more likely to be killed than a white woman. After 2020, it just kind of skyrocketed from there, right? How, someone said Themis will protect you. What do we do? One, do you guys think this is significant for us to have a discussion? Because I know Orange Pill thought it wasn't significant enough, right? But is it significant, and what do we do about it? And the majority of the killings were being done by Black men. They're calling me out in the chat for not including that. So let's go around in a circle. London, is this something that we should be talking about? Why or why not?
I think it's something we should be talking about, because it's like, well, first and foremost, like we act like we don't have family members that this can happen to, first and foremost, right? Then there are women outside our family that we probably think are cool and aren't bad people. So I think, I do think this is something we need to talk about, because like every 5.5 to 6 hours, like that's 4 women a day guaranteed, at least, you know what I mean? And that's only, would that actually be one guy, or is that multiple men? 4 women a day guaranteed?
Go ahead.
Because I would say if it's like one guy, we'll say one guy killing 4 women a day at bare minimum, then imagine if it's multiple men. Numbers just keep adding up.
Yeah.
We got I'm about to say the one guy who was on camera filmed him going to, I think he shot his current girlfriend and then went and shot his ex-wife. That was 2 right there in one day.
Yeah. And so I guess, is there someone up here who objects that this is significant and we shouldn't be talking about it?
I think we should talk about it all the time. I think it should be loud.
All right, good. So there's no one here that objects to the conversation about Black femicide, right? All right. What do we do about it? Because what's happening is, and I'll show you something which I find this really disheartening, because the conversation around Black femicide keeps running into conflict with activism, right? So focusing on the murders of Black women can be difficult, several activists said, because it requires a reckoning with the violence perpetrated within communities and within families, right? So essentially what is happening here is, it is difficult to engage in a conversation about Black women being killed, because the question of who is killing Black women and Black men comes up. And the answer becomes Black men disproportionately, right? And so what is happening is there is a shying away from that, because there is what is perceived to be a bigger issue, which is systemic racism and fighting police brutality, right? One of the solutions is for there to be more policing, but the activist says, no, this is not good because police are racist. We don't have to get deep into this conversation, but we need to have a conversation here. So if we are unwilling to say police is somehow required for women to be protected in our communities, while we're also saying police should be dismantled because of systemic racism, how do we approach the conversation of protecting Black women and also protecting Black men? Go ahead. Who want to take it first?
Adrian. I'll go after him.
Going to your point, I would ask you if you reframe how you said that from dismantled, reform. Because reforming the police department, or multiple, the entire police department throughout the United States is the actual goal. Because demilitarizing, messing up that word, demilitarizing the police force is the actual goal of essentially defund the police.
Because to be fair though, there is defund, which means reimagine what we do with the police in America, which I don't think anyone is opposed to, really, like seriously opposed to.
I don't think so.
No, because no one is defining what that means.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
people keep saying we need to reimagine policing, and I agree. I think mental health is something that should be taken into consideration in the training of police. Racial biases should be considered, but no one is actually coming out with a plan to what it means to defund. Defund, in my mind, means zero out the balance. Um, and in fact, if we go into this paper some more, this article, Quenshaw, who helped found the Say Her Name campaign to highlight Black women killed by police, said that calls to respond to Black women's murders with more policing don't take into account the way that police themselves don't make Black women safe. So the stats aren't actually backing the, I mean, we can get into how many people were killed by the police if we want, but it does feel disingenuous because this is obviously written by an activist, right? And obviously we'll have a skew against police. Again, I don't like the police in the way that it's currently militarized. It is very strange to me that the police is as militarized as it is. But to say we don't need police is also very extreme. And to say we need to reimagine how the police should be done, I agree. But reimagine to what? All right, let's go to OBI.
Black femicide is a big problem. It was a very big problem. I have a mother, I have sisters, I have a wife. And when I hear these things, I watch these things from the sideline because I'm a busy man. I'm a father. And I keep on hearing all these things. And I hear a lot of men on the internet just like trying to minimize the problem that this is. And every time you say that a woman is killed every 6 hours, they bring up the men that are being killed. But the common denominator of the people that are killing the men and the women are, guess who? Black men. So we need to, but one thing I think we need to do is, first of all, Black men need to start checking other Black men. And that is why I'm here. I've never been on any of these lives. I just like watch from the sidelines and go about my business. But I think more men that think they have a responsibility to build a better community should start speaking up and checking Black men and checking people that are in support of this kind of violence. So this is actually one of my attempts to say we need to. This is me throwing my voice in the arena and saying that we need to check other men. And one thing I started telling my sisters, I've told my sisters, everybody needs to go learn self-defense. And I'm telling my sisters to start to carry so they can defend themselves, because you never know who that's going to be, because it's mostly intimate partners that kill these women. So like women need to start defending themselves. That's the first line of defense. And the second line of defense is men checking other men, and us to start to build a culture of us being more restrained, because we always tell women that we are logical and men are logical and women are emotional. But like, I don't see anything logical about men running wild and being crazy, emotional and angry and shooting and killing people all over the place. So it appears it's us that are more emotional than the women. So if we're actually logical people, we should actually start being logical and providing logical responses to when, in quote, women make us do things. We should have logical responses to these things and stop being crazy emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I remember Abba said, yes, when I was reviewing his video, he said if he came home and his wife was cheating, he essentially advocate for killing.
Oh yeah, that was bullshit. I heard that and I was like, oh my goodness, like there we go, being crazy emotional. Then we accuse women of being emotional.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is kind of encouraging. DT, go ahead.
So we're talking about Black femicide and what the results are, or not the results, but what are some of the solutions, you think? Is that where we're going? Okay. Well, I just looked up the statistics. What was like 2017? It shows one of the leading causes of Black male deaths is homicides by other Black men. I think the top was heart disease. So by far and large, Black males' homicide numbers have been larger than Black women's due to Black men Now, if we're focusing on Black women, though, and if we want to look at it being the cause from domestic violence from Black men counterparts and so forth, I think that other Black men stepping in to check other Black men, that's I think it's difficult to do with the breakup of the Black family, right? And I think it's not surprising that you would see Black femicide increase, especially lately, not only due to the pandemic and economic situations that we're seeing out here, but it does take a little strain on domestic households. They're seeing that across the board, no matter race or ethnicity in the United States, due to the pandemic and whatnot, and the economy. But with the breakup of Black families, I mean, the Black woman is uncovered. There's no male figure to guide, protect, and to be in the household to kind of, set that environment up for her and the children. So if she's independent, quote unquote, even though she still wants a provider, but if she's independent, then that puts her in a situation where she's out here on equal footing with men and everyone else in society. So
how
There you
should
go.
Black men check other Black men? Because I saw a comment earlier that said the educated lames are afraid of Pookie and RayRay. And I mean, to be fair, we get money and we leave we leave the ghetto, right? Like we leave the neighborhoods that are perceived to be bad. And not bad. Let's not use perceived. Like they're some of the communities are hard to live in. And we leave those neighborhoods when we have some level of success. So I'm going to assume we're all up here would be a part of the educated lame. I'm just going to make that assumption. Correct me when you speak. How is this true? And what can we do about it? Because I cannot see myself, and this is me being honest, right? I think there is a way to check people, and my checking is I will tell you if you get abrasive, then here is a lawsuit, here is a police, here is a system. But I don't think of myself as fighting with anyone. I think fighting someone is very archaic.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you,
You're
Themis.
good.
That
Yes,
system
you're
is
good.
in place, I believe. I mean,
You want to see the live I'm on?
wait,
Adrian,
you do have authority, you do have police, you have the courts. I've had experiences where Black women I've seen and I know from friends firsthand conversations where they've said that the Black women they know have no problems calling the police in damn near any situation that has them to do with them having an altercation. I don't think that's an issue. I think that system is in place to protect and serve women particularly. And I mean, if we're talking about the violence that's been happening, the uptick in that, this is a society that's growing violently altogether. And women, Black women in particular, are more exposed again because of I think the innate matriarchal society of the Black community. They're the
That is
been the leader.
why.
Yeah,
That's why. That is why Black men should start promoting a culture of being providers and protectors of the women in our lives and in our surroundings, and stop making excuses. Take accountability. Whatever your sphere of influence is, act and do and be a man in that situation. I just find these conversations always going to like actually trying to push away the blame on either the system or the society. The system was designed by men. The society is men leading women. The government is mostly men. The leadership is mostly men. The police is mostly men. We are the society. We create culture. So we should just take accountability of what is going on here, and just tell other men that this is not okay. There are different ways of fixing problems than being crazy violent. Like anybody that tries to like get violent around me with a woman knows he's getting these hands straight up before I call the police.
Say it again for the ones in the back.
The violence.
I mean, I agree with that.
The violence is indiscriminate. The violence is uptaking.
Yeah, the violence is increasing,
well.
but guess who's committing most of the violence, though?
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. We can point out that more. We can point out that more men are actually dying, but we're gonna then ask at the hands.
We are killing other men.
Yeah. And
so if we're doing it, then
yeah, we need to focus in on a culture that has some violence there, and we need to figure out how to address that.
Yes,
I don't know that there is
I got a solution.
It feels like there is. Wait. It feels like there is a, like Obi I just said.
It's Obi. It's Obi. My name is Obi.
Thank you, Obi. It's all capitalized, so that's why I pronounce all of I say all the letters. So Obi just pointed out that there's a lack of accountability, but there's also this knee-jerk reaction to push off blame, right? Instead of taking ownership of that which we find ourselves in. Unless we take responsibility and accountability, I don't see how this changes. Unless like the system walks in and say, okay, you now have to perform this specific way.
Are you talking to somebody specific?
Where's the
Go ahead.
Go for it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
No, you were asking a question.
Who needs to take the accountability? Is it the perpetrators, or are you talking about black men in general?
Men in general. The men that are not violent, the men that are not killing these women should take accountability of protecting these women that are being killed. These are our mothers, supposedly good, and our wives and our girlfriends that are being killed. We can't just pretend.
So the title comes into play very importantly now. There is a way in which the conversation happens where we just say, oh, it's the Pookies and Ray Rays, right? In our minds and our imagination, we have the specific kind of black man that does these kind of crime. By the way, that is very racist. The image that comes to mind when you think of the man who comes in, like kills and robs or whatever, it is very racist. However, we, the quote unquote people who are not doing the crime, we have a responsibility, not just to those men who are doing it, but to the community to make it better. And so I'm with Obi here, where it's how do we make it better? And I think we have to start saying us, and like not so much distinguish like the men who are doing the bad things from us, but saying, okay, we men have a problem. I don't see it changing unless we can see our brothers as brothers, even when they're bad, and say, we need to do something about it.
The only way society is civilized is by men checking other men.
Yeah, DT, go ahead. I agree with you, Obi.
But I find that a lot of other groups of people, whether you have the Asian community, the white community, Hispanic community, they usually put a little effort in trying to differentiate the types of men in their groups.
No, they put checks and balances in. So the white community is going to create a system. Not only are they checking their group, but they're checking ours. Like we are overrepresented in the prison system. That is not by accident.
Correct. Now us being overrepresented in the prison system, and so some people would confuse that statistic a lot. Yes, in the prison system, if you look at the whole, out of the whole in the prison system, blacks are represented strongly there. But out of the majority of blacks in the United States, a small percentage of us are actually in prison.
No, so we make up 13. No. We make up 13% of the population, but almost 40% of the prison population.
Okay, so if the prison population has 100 people and we make up 40 of them,
but we are overrepresented. It's a matter of percentage. It is not by accident. The music we can see, there is no other group of people that have in their music, we're killing each other. Like that glorifies killing each other. I'm not saying this is a direct result. Wait, Adrian thinks this is incorrect. Go ahead, Adrian. Push back on that. You're muted.
That point of view is, I understand where you're coming from, but is also kind of false, because multiple different music forms have a glorification of violence
No, no,
and
no, no.
gore and
I
stuff
said
and like that.
specifically killing each other.
Yes, violence and killing each other, such as
What music? What group of music has the killing each other in it as
What
like
rock
a
stars?
literal the staple?
grunge, rock, metal.
No, it does
Yes,
not have
No.
killing.
yes.
No,
Can you
No,
sir.
name some
no.
artists?
I had a grunge phase. I had a rock phase. Unfortunately, I hate to admit this. It was like a couple months, so I don't know all the music.
Wait,
Um, but no, 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 no,
just
no.
because you didn't hear it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I'm talking about what represents the music genre. Like, obviously, there are white people singing about killing white people. I'm sure I can find it if I look hard enough. What I'm saying is the music that is pushed mainstream for each group is not the same across the board. It is very specifically hip hop and rap music that is about shooting each other. Like, that is a very specific thing. I'm not, look, we can do a media dissecting and we can determine whether or not it does have a psychological impact. I believe seeing these kinds of image and hearing these words creates a sort of callous, right? And so we become sort of immune to it. And then we see people getting shot down and we don't really have the same response that we should have because we gotten so accustomed to hearing it and seeing it. But I mean, I could be wrong on that. I'm not okay. I'm not a psychologist, but I do think to sort of broad stroke the ways in which other music creates art and the way rap create arts as somehow similar. No.
It may not be making all of us become violent, but it looks like it's making a lot of us a good and a good a significant it's influencing a significant amount of young people to be violent. I'm originally Nigerian, and I came to this country around 10 years ago, but I fell in love with this country when I was like 11, 12 years old, and it's through rap music. And I know it influenced me to act in a certain way. And rap music influenced a lot of my peers when we were in our teenage years. To some people, we people were trying to find guns. We were expressing ourselves in ways that were influenced by the music that we listened to and
Yeah,
the
it's
kind
not
of language that was used
Obi,
in it. So like
it's
you
not.
can't say that it doesn't influence people.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not by accident that you walk in an area and it does look people look like they're mimicking what the rappers look like, right? Like it's not that's not by accident. DT, what does a woman's financial independence have to do with her safety and being with a man? I'm confused on why DT would say that. Would you like to respond to that, DT?
Yeah, I was just reading that. Now, Nicole, if I did say financial independence, if I said those words, which I don't think I did either, but that's not what I meant. I meant a woman's independence. So I meant the ideology of a woman not needing a man, a woman thinking she can lead the household on her own, who can raise children on her own without the presence of a man, is unprotected. And therefore, when she goes out into the world, there is nobody that she can call on directly from the home that can be
But
there
should
for
she
her
have
or that
to?
can
Should
protect
she?
her in the home.
But should she? Thank you, Nicole. Should she have to have someone at the home to protect her?
Absolutely. Why not?
No, no.
Well,
Do she,
I
hold
don't
on. How
think you
about this?
heard
How
my
about
question.
this?
Wait,
How
wait.
about this?
I
How about
don't
this?
think you heard my
But
question.
see now let's uncoil that, because
All right.
why are we hearing the mantra over and over that black women are looking for black men to protect and to lead and to provide?
Yes,
But
it
yet,
does not mean. It does not
you know what I
mean.
mean?
Okay, maybe it means this for everyone else, but to me, that does not mean you have to have a sexual relationship or a sort of marriage relationship with. I am alive. Who is calling me? With the woman you're supposed to be protecting. Like I come from a community kind of approach, not a sort of individual relationship with an individual person sort of approach. That seems very short-sighted in my mind.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
No, of course, I
But
don't
no,
think so.
before you do,
I think
go
you
ahead.
should.
Go
I
ahead.
think you should. I think you should worry about taking care of your home, taking care of your household first before you try to go out and take care of others' households. That's
And
the same thing that goes with politics and everything
you
else.
should. Wait. You should. I agree with that. But you should also then go out and take care of the rest. My home currently only
Once
involves
yours is taken
me.
care of, yes.
Yeah. So now I can go out and take it. If you're a single man, hopefully your home is taken care of, and you can also go out and take care of other people. I feel like it is sort of limited if we're just saying, oh, you need a man at home to be protected. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Hopefully that's not what you're saying.
I no, it is. I mean, it's in the Bible. I don't know if you're a religious person. I don't know if any of you guys had a religion, have any religion about you at all. But in the Bible
I want to hear what you want to say about the Bible.
When you are married, that's the husband's duty. I have not read any doctrine. I don't know any other group of people where it is another man's duty who is a stranger to that person to put themselves in harm's way in a scenario to protect a woman or anybody.
We're not talking about putting people in harm's way. The people causing the harm are other men, right? Like it's almost like we're
okay, that's fine. It could be other men. It could be Martians. It could be whoever. But
if it were Martians, if it were Martian, you might have an actual better argument. Because it's other black men, you don't get to say, well, unless you don't see yourself as part of the community.
No, I see myself as an individual.
But is the individual a part of the community in your mind?
Well, first of all, you have to define what is a community. Do you think the black community? Do we have it? You believe if you still believe there's still a black community, then sure. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll run with that.
I hear this. There's no black community a lot.
No, this explains a lot. Like this actually does explain a lot to me. Mr. Let Go did the same thing to me. He needed me to define community. Do you not believe there is a black community?
They don't want to believe there's a black community so they can absolve themselves of the responsibility of what men do to protect their community. All this is twisting themselves into pretzels just not to be held accountable. They do not want to be responsible because once you admit that there is a community, then it comes back that men should lead their community, that men are supposed to shape the culture of their community. Men are supposed to protect the community. So once we accept that responsibility falls back to us, then we start to look bad. Then we have to accept that we dropped the ball, and we can't just blame black women, right? So the easiest way is to say there's no community. Then you can individualize yourself and
wait. I actually have a question. DT, no. DT, can I ask you a personal question? You can say no.
Go ahead, man.
You don't have to answer, and it's kind of invasive, so I do apologize.
Go ahead.
Are you with a person of another race?
I'm not in a relationship.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you more about me. Let me piggyback off of what Obi said real quick. First of all, I grew up in a black community. I grew up single parent home. I went to an HBCU. What more can I say? I mean, pretty much at this point, I know what I've been around black people. I can honestly say from my experience from growing up, not as a first generational black American, Obi, but as a person who has generations of family members that has grew up here. So the culture is me. Okay.
Okay, good.
So hey,
wait, no. Please don't say that. Wait. Stop. No.
I'm being honest.
No, I don't.
I got to keep it real.
Because I don't.
Sometimes first generational.
Wait. DT. Sorry.
What's that?
I don't. the women are going to be mad at me because they're going to be like, Demas, we told you, because this is a real gotcha moment for the women in the chat, where they're going to be like, see, they don't even believe there's any community and they want to absolve themselves of responsibility. I do believe there are those men who do see the Black community as a community.
Yes, there are.
I hope so.
The Black community as a community.
Yeah.
Well, you went to HBCU. That also should be taken into consideration as something for the Black community specifically.
Wait, let me read this. Wait, let me read this.
A woman's ability itself was a community in itself, correct?
Wait, let me read this quickly. Sorry. A woman's ability to be independent may mean that she won't be fully dependent on a man, which is a good thing for an adult generally. Why can't there be two sufficient people in a relationship? I agree with you. Correct. Why can't there be two self-sufficient, formally independent people, adults in a relationship? I mean, wait. All right. So you guys can wait. I'm going to take a moment and you guys can have this conversation. Go ahead, DT.
I actually had a question for myself. So, DT, if
wait, DT, you're on mute. Wait. You're on mute. You have to unmute yourself to talk, and then we go back to London. Go ahead, DT.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with her. I mean, yeah, who cares about a woman having her own money or the guy having their own money? It's about cooperation. There's no a working relationship there fundamentally that's allowing for some type of family to be built, some type of household family to be built. That's what we're saying. We're not talking about money. See, the focus is so much on money that it's not about support. It's not about team building. It's not about building a family and having some type of a value system to share. And that's what's needed. Okay. So that's, I don't know if that answers her, if that responds to her super chat.
All right. We're going to get back to this and clear this up. It is unfortunate that most Black women believe in a fictified kinship with the Black community, while most Black men do not. I hope, I'm scratching my head because, DT, can you explain to me why you don't think there's a Black community?
Well, let's look at the single parent household rate. How is there a community when the men are not in the, I'm sorry?
I've interrupted too many times. Go ahead and explain. Everyone else, can you mute your mic because there's a feedback coming? Can you explain? And you will be uninterrupted for like 30 seconds.
Let's go for it. All right.
Explain how there's not a Black community.
Well, as of now, let's look at the single parent household rate. It's still the highest, right, out of all ethnicities in the United States, right? Culturally, there's just no man in the household at all, right, at this point. So now you're looking at women that's in a matriarchal or that's in a leading role in the community. So from that point, how do you have a community when there's not any men in the household with the kids who are growing up? And in most cases, or in increasing numbers, kids that grow up from single parent households are increasingly becoming the ones causing the crime. Okay. So if we can't get men into those households, or we can't create some type of stable union where they stay, then how do you have a community? Now you have conversations like this where you're looking for men who are single, in most cases are not the father of the children or even any relation to these single women out here. Now you're asking for them to come in and to patch up these loose ends from something that's fundamentally not together.
All right. So a broken community is still a community. That men left their home does not make it a matriarchy. It makes it a failed patriarchy. Does that? No, so wait, you disagree with that?
Facts.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Wait, yeah. Before you go, no, I want DT to respond to this, and then you can go.
Okay.
Well, we could place the blame. If you want to go there, my blame wasn't about who left or who.
No. You
wanted. Whoa. Hold on.
No, you said it was a matriarchy. I'm saying it's a failed patriarchy. It's not a matriarchy.
Okay, so if you want to call it that, what do you call it now? So you just want to call it a failed patriarchy? You wanted to blame it on the men?
Reality.
No, it's not even about just blame. It's that we still have if you say we don't have a community, what is the next logical step is to not care about that which we have. If we say we have a community that needs work, then we can work on that community. To say we don't have or maybe you are saying we should rebuild our community. Like hopefully that's what you're saying. I'm giving you an out.
Rebuild? Oh, no. Rebuild is fine. I don't need an out. I mean, I don't see what you're trying to salvage. Honestly, I see. It's like you're kind of. For me, it's like you're stretching it a little bit. Like you're trying to salvage this thing the best way you can. But
so we should try to salvage the Black community.
Listen. Honestly, more than half of Black men do not have children.
Wait. No. Wait.
Let me get to this. More than half of Black men do not have children. There's 70% single mother household rate. That there's a good majority of Black men that are not procreating with these women who are single mothers. So now we have to ask ourselves.
So a few
what's
men
going on with this?
So a few men is running amok, and the majority of men can't do anything about it.
Well,
that looks even worse.
What do the men?
That looks real bad. That the majority of the good men do not have the ability to control the tiny percentage of the men that are running amok. That makes it look even worse.
Maybe you should ask yourself, Obi, what's the incentive? Is there a good enough incentive for
that? A safe community is an incentive. A powerful community run by powerful men is the incentive.
Everyone. No. You're muting everyone.
That is the incentive.
Pause.
How is it the incentive if they don't live there?
I'm sorry. I don't like muting people. What do you mean? What is the incentive? What do you mean? What is the incentive? The community is the incentive. Like that Black people are going to progress is the incentive. Like we want us to do better. Or maybe we don't. Like maybe I'm operating on this weird. There's more men up here that agrees with me than disagrees with me. So let me not go into that weird. Maybe we don't. The incentive is the action itself. It is the creation and keeping together of the community. That in and of itself is an end.
There is no community.
All right. Go ahead, Low Jamie.
Okay. Regardless, if you feel as if there's no community, there's still a community. The reason why is because if you go out and act a fool tomorrow, who are your representation of? Your representation of the black men of our community. So regardless if you want to think there's no community, we're still looking bad if you go out there and act like a fool. I had to tell my people that every single day, regardless if you feel like there's no community or not. Just because you feel like you're an individual part of a greater community. So regardless, that's why I tell my people, hey, when you go out there, don't act stupid, because you're a reflection of me at the end of the day. That's why a majority of Black women are afraid of Black men today, because of those idiots out there, and because they have the same mentality saying that I'm not a part of the community. There's no such thing as community because the single motherhood is on the rise. Why? Because other Black men had decided not to step up and actually take care, help these women out. How can we do that? Oh, we can actually go to these schools. We can go to these schools. We can actually create programs for these individuals, for these young men, so that we can actually show that there's actually good examples out there. Because half the reason why they go into this spiral is because all they know is what's around them, and they don't see anything different. We have to be the difference. If we are educated Black men and we have enough sense to make the correct decisions in life, we should be able to pass that on to other individuals. It's our responsibility at the end of the day, because we are the men of the community. If we're supposed to be the leaders of the community, why are we not stepping up in that arena?
Wait, sorry. People said to slow down the live. I have no clue what I'm doing. How do I slow down?
You're not respected. You're not respected enough to take that role in the community.
Respect is earned and taken.
Pookie and RayRay. Pookie and Ray Rays.
You don't beg. They don't give you respect. You earn respect.
Yeah. I absolutely understood that. Now you still haven't given me what's the incentive. You said for the greater good of the Black community. That's not
building the community in itself is an incentive.
Wait,
building the
no. All right, let's do.
You build your own community. How about that? If you worried about building a community, you can benefit.
Build your own
I am building my community. I am building my family, and I'm building my immediate environment.
Let's stop. If you want specifics, here is one major one. Until the Black community does well, Black people will continue to be disrespected internationally. There is no country in Europe that you can go to that you will not be discriminated against, particularly, forget Europe, go to Asia, right? So it is important for the individual in your own existence for the community to do well. It is why Oprah could not go into the store or buy this bag, or people thought she was broke, because the image of the Black person internationally is bad. Without a good community, a good image of the community, then you will continue to look that way. So yeah,
100%.
there are direct benefits to working on the community.
They're still treating the Black people in the Ukraine bad while they're going to war with Russia.
Yes,
and they're not letting them do shit.
Like this man was put, the doctor was put to the back of the line because they were Black. Like, the people are not respecting Black people. Part of that is the narrative online, right? Part of that is the stereotype. Part of that is the fact that the community, well, in your mind, we don't have a community. Like, I actually didn't believe you would say that, but
if you want to call what you see today a community, then I would ask you to raise your standards, brother. That's
so what do you want? What do you want as an incentive? That's my question.
It's a community, just a broken community. It's just a leaderless community.
Thank you.
That's a leaderless community.
It's a broken leaderless community. And we just accept that and then start to lead.
You guys are trying to define a non-community as a community.
It is a community. The rest of the world sees you as a community. The rest of the world sees you as a community. Whether you like it or not, everybody else sees you as a community.
The rest of the world sees us as a race. If me and you, Obi, are in another country together, what you're gonna say? Hey, man, me and Obi are part of the community. Your parents are gonna say, hell no. I know that. Period.
Whether or not you say you are not, it does not change the fact that people see you as part of it. That's what Obi was just trying to explain.
As a race.
Yes. And a race, if you separate race and community, fine. Let's just use race, right? We need to clean up the Black race. How about that?
Agreed.
Thanks.
Agreed.
No disagreement
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. I mean, the image is shot. Yes, I understand. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. When we talk about the community, that is what we're talking about.
The community and the race. All right, cool.
Yeah,
you know fine.
The community is linked together by the race. The defining factor of the community is the race.
Exactly.
A community is based on culture.
Hold on.
No, that is one way. That is one way to define a community. Ados is also a community, right? Jamaicans are also a community. Black people as a community, and we can talk about whether or not it's fair to even define Blackness as a community, but whiteness is seen sort of as a community in the way that people protect their whiteness. Whiteness is protected. There is a machine invested in the protection of whiteness. Whether or not you believe this or accept it, it's for you. But we don't have the same system. We don't have the same standards. It's why we can have rap music talking about killing each other. I promise you, if Taylor Swift came out here and talked about killing other white women, it will not fly.
Look at Miley Cyrus. She was doing all that twerking and stuff, and now all of a sudden that just disappeared, and now she's back to being a little white girl, an innocent little white girl.
Wait, separately, announcement to the chat. I absolutely do not know how to slow this chat down. I thought I knew how to do it, but StreamYard is not letting me do it. So do not send super chats. You don't have to. I will try to figure out how to donate it or something, but it is moving fast on my end too. So I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not a YouTuber. So anyway, let's continue. I think Obi is correct. When we say it is not a community, it makes us feel comfortable feeling like we do not have to do anything. And we can relinquish responsibility.
Easy out. It's an easy out.
It's an easy out. It is an easy out. All right, go ahead, DT. I feel like you are the only outside alternative voice, so this is why I'm giving you so much room to speak. But just know we all disagree with you.
Yeah, you guys
Are you
are
sure we
disagreeing.
all disagree? Does anybody else disagree?
Oh yeah, thank you, Obi. Does anyone agree with DT? You guys can step out now on that ledge so I can cut it off. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Damn.
I'm not disagreeing with you guys on the on what the solution needs to be as far as trying to repair the image of black men, because
The
you started
community of black men, you mean?
Okay, you know what? We'll go with that. The community of black men.
Mm-hmm.
Because you started off basically saying, hey, you know what? There's a common problem when it comes to violence in the black community, which is black men not distinguishing what black men exactly or who in the community.
To do
The
that,
cop that pulls me over doesn't know you're ADOS and I'm not.
No.
But
to
ADOS would still be the
distinguish-
main
wait,
one. So it
stop.
don't.
To distinguish, we would have to call names. I don't know each individual names. There is no way for me to distinguish who, like the educated man who went and killed his ex-wife and then his ex-girlfriend was no one would know that was him. So I can say it's the Pookie and the Ray Rays. I can say it's the quote unquote people who dress ghetto, because one, that is super racist. Two, it's not true. It's literally not true. Like some of the people doing the killings are the men in suits.
We're talking about if you want to talk about the smaller number or the exception to those crimes, then sure. If you want to play that game, then let's play that game.
It is not an exception. A lot of the people who are causing a ton of trauma and violence in the community are not just these men who are like at the street corner. I think it's disingenuous for people, and this is why I put the title the way it is, for people like you and myself, I guess, to say that those are the men doing it and they're over there. It's not true.
By greater numbers, yeah, absolutely.
But even if it's that though, even if it's just a small number of those people, they are giving all of us a bad name.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of us are being treated that way.
100%.
And instead of complaining and trying to separate ourselves from those people, we should do something to make sure that our image is not like those people.
I agree with you.
Separating ourselves from those people is not going to solve any problems.
You don't think so?
It's separating ourselves. How is it going to separate us? The cops are not going to separate us that way. When you walk into a Gucci store, they're not going to say you're Pookie. They're going to treat you the same way.
And Pookie and RayRay, the quote-unquote Pookie and RayRay aren't going to just ignore you walking. There's still the problem of you getting killed.
And when Pookie's done with wherever he's done with, he's
not where I'm from. Yeah. What's that? What was that? I'm sorry, Obi.
I'm saying we have to take responsibility of that and take care and figure out together how we can take care of our image, which the people that we are not are supposedly putting on us, because everybody's looking at us that way.
So wait, let me say something. I realize this is London, by the way. I'm glad I did this live. I kind of am, but part of the problem, right? Oh, someone was telling me how to do it. Sorry. Theme is use setting, live chat. Okay, let me try to figure this out. While I say, I don't see anything saying settings on it. Settings. All right, anyway, let me talk while I try to figure this out. There is an issue, and part of why I didn't want to do this live stream, and maybe I didn't want to face the reality that there are some people who actually don't care, right? But I think the women are not the women in the chat, but maybe some, but people are going to watch this and say, see, black men don't care. Why should we care? And that is my fear. This is why I've never done this live, because I'm afraid that this is going to further cause a divide. This is going to be used as ammunition to say, see, black men don't care.
Well, see, that's taking a leap for you to say that if someone disagrees about the solution on how to fix a black male image problem is through wanting to go and jump in front of
So you believe we should be trying to fix the black male's image?
Absolutely. I mean, that goes without saying. Who
How do
doesn't
we do that?
who doesn't want their image fixed? Who doesn't want to go out and,
No,
and be
it's not
seen
just
as
about.
like respectable?
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
let's be clear. It's not just the image that should be fixed. We need to substantively fix who we are and what we're doing, the culture. So we can do a whole PR campaign, see Tina Knowles, and we cannot do anything actually. But we need to do some. I don't care. You can do the media campaign thing, but we do actually need to do some work locally and substantively.
Actual solutions.
Yeah, so those actual solutions, are you down for those?
Listen, I'm down for whatever. I'm just gonna tell you guys this: there's so many mentor programs out there in these communities. There's teachers that's working their butts off to the bone with these kids, and at the end of the day, nothing really can substitute the nurture from in home.
So men should not leave their family.
There should be more of a working relationship somehow with the father.
No, so men should not leave their families.
Run in circle.
So men should not leave their families.
Men shouldn't.
All right,
but
how do we make sure? How do we get men to not leave their families?
Marry before carry.
That doesn't work. We know Mr. Let Go left his wife, a single mother.
How did he leave his wife?
Can we create a culture in which men feel obligated to take care of the children they create or help create?
Absolutely, they should do that.
How do we do that? That's what I was asking.
Well, these men are growing up without some type of value for family or children or the woman that they're having children with, right? Do you agree, guys? Somehow they're growing up this way, right? Yeah. Why are they being raised this way? Who's raising them?
Say that again.
Wait.
Yeah.
We're not gonna blame.
Oh no, we not gonna do that.
Say that again.
Let's have a conversation. Why are they going up this way? I'm assuming you think women are raising men poorly.
Of course.
We're not blaming black women.
Oh Lord.
That goes, guys. You're gonna sit up here and play.
True. Wait. I don't think women know how to raise men.
Okay, there you go. That's it.
So why are men risking having children with women when they don't know they're not going to raise them?
Stop.
Hold on, I'm going to hear Obi in a little bit, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they shouldn't have to.
But they are.
No, they shouldn't have to know how to raise men. Why?
They shouldn't have to, but they are. And you've heard it before.
No. Whose responsibility?
And they prefer to.
Whose responsibility is it to teach a man how to be a man?
A boy to be a man.
A boy to be a man. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the man should teach a boy to become a man.
All right. So them leaving and not carrying out their responsibility is the problem.
And even if they did leave, they can still be in their child's life, because my dad was with my mom and I came out fine.
Yeah.
If I'm a black man and I have a boy, which I do, he's right here right now, it is my responsibility, even if I'm not with his mom, to make sure that my boy is raised to be a proper man. It's not her job to raise the man, to raise the boy. Even if she doesn't like me, I will fight to make sure that as a black man that wants a black son that will carry on my name to be raised properly as a man. I will not let him become a Pookie, then blame her for doing the job that a woman cannot do. That is another way of shirking responsibility.
And Obi, you've assumed your responsibility as a man.
We should encourage other black men to do the same thing too. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm not trying to find reasons why women that are supposed to be the weaker vessels kick them out of the home. That is saying that most black men are weak, that they are so weak that women can kick them out of the home, that they are so weak that governments can make them not take care of their children. That is pathetic, man.
I hadn't even touched the reason why black men aren't in the home.
I have heard all the reasons. I have a list of them. I have a list of all the reasons why men cannot be actual men and take care and raise the boys that they give birth to. I have all the reasons. I've listened to thousands of hours of men giving reasons why they can't take care of their children. All of them are both bullshit.
Obi, were you raising a two-family?
Absolutely not. Wait, everyone is muted. I agree with you, Obi. You're like going off, and I'm here for it. I stand firmly except weaker vessel, but I stand firmly
I said
behind you.
supposedly weaker vessel.
Yeah, no, I get you. I
Supposedly.
get you. I'm behind you. I'm completely behind you. DT, I am assuming we are assuming a lot. So, are you saying that women are supposed to be blamed for the community? How it is? Let me ask you that directly.
I say that the parent or guardian who is raising their children in their home is responsible for their children.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait. So women are responsible then. What if women decide to leave? So the man leave and the woman leave. What happens to the child?
If you're saying if both the woman and man leave?
They have the child and they just like, oh, bring the child home, and they both just they just both leave. What happens to the child?
Well, the child is discarded. Maybe the child has
the child is gonna die. No, if you just walk out on the child dies. Can't protect itself.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Cool. So you are telling me that you are going to blame the person who stayed and attempts to facilitate the role of both the father who left and the mother. You are going to blame them for how the child comes out and not the person who is not there at all. If you and if society agreed with you, what essentially happens is we create a system where we incentivize people to leave. If they're not the ones being blamed for not keeping up their end of the bargain and they get to walk out whenever they want, you have incentivized bad behavior.
I'm on? Okay. No. So what I'm saying is this, is that the men that walk out on these women, will say in those scenarios, obviously that's completely wrong, and that's a good part of the problem in the community as well.
That is the problem when it comes to single motherhood. If every man who had their child stayed with their child, we would not have single motherhood.
Easy.
You're making it seem. Listen, you're making it seem like women don't have a choice in the matter as well. At all.
This is a community. This is a panel of.
Hold on. These women don't want to be single moms, bro.
Can we not?
So it's like this, right? It's like we want to blame the woman for raising the child how they come out, but we don't blame the men for not sticking behind and actually raising that child.
No. I agree with you, bro. We blame the man takes responsibility for that child as well. We shouldn't absolve the woman at all just because we're men and
how can we? How can no? So think about it is. So I don't know about you guys, but I was raised in a single parent household. My mom worked 2 jobs to put food on the table, put clothes on our backs, and put a roof over our head. So it's become very difficult for her to actually make sure that everyone else is good to go in the house. So that means I had to step up a little bit as the older brother in the house to make sure my brother and sister were good to go. Right? That's it. So we can't put the blame. We can't blame them and say, oh, it's your fault for these children raised the way they are, if they have to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet.
Exactly.
So how dare we say that, hey, she takes some of the blame because she decided to keep the kids, but the father walked out.
I will question I think we should question the premise whether or not women are not choosing to be single mothers. That's what I think should be questioned a little bit more.
So you say that should they abort them?
Wait, so you're saying women are choosing to do the job of 2 people by themselves and have multiple jobs?
Should we abort? Should we? Should women abort these children then? No, they end up pregnant. They're pregnant, right? What should they do with this child? No.
Well, can you put this in context?
The woman and man engage in sexual intercourse. The woman is now pregnant. The man says, I am gone. Should they abort them?
The woman it's her choice. Right?
Yeah. But will she be blamed? If she doesn't abort them, it's her fault if the child turns out bad because the father is not there.
Well, the child doesn't have to come out bad just because the father is not there.
So how is
it depends on how well the mother is able to.
No, women don't know how to raise men.
we just said a man is needed to raise a boy into a man. We just agreed on that.
Absolutely.
Whether it's true or not, we have already agreed on that. So that's gone. We're not having that conversation again. We
All right.
need a man to raise a boy. We don't have a man to raise a boy. What are you? I cannot believe we're at this point on this panel. Like, this is very strange to me that we ended up here. So I am
feel like
very
it's okay to
concerned.
concede. It's okay to say that you made a mistake. It's okay, bro.
Who, me?
It's okay. Yes,
Me?
because right now,
No, he doesn't believe he made a
talking in
mistake.
circles.
No, I
We're
don't.
talking
That's
in
why you
circles,
shouldn't
bro.
assume.
We're talking about
doesn't.
abortion when we need to be talking about the dude that left. I don't understand the disconnect. Like it's
Quick question. Before anything,
No. Wait, before you go, I do need the answer to this. So we have a man and a woman. They did what they did. The woman is now pregnant.
Yep.
If she has the child,
If
who
she
turns
chooses
out
to
to
have the
be a
child.
boy,
If she chooses to have the child,
if she
right?
chooses to have the child who is a boy, and
Okay.
the man is not there, we should blame the woman for how the man turns out, the boy grows up into a man and have maladoption. She's supposed to be blamed. That is what you're saying.
If we're going off the premise that it takes a man to raise a boy and to become a man, and then you have the woman that has a boy. She didn't know she was going to have a boy, but she has a boy.
She can know she's gonna have a boy in a few weeks.
No.
So
I
are you
wanna hear
saying that women?
Wait. Sorry, I want to hear him finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost train of thought on that. But if you're trying to say, is it going to be her fault that the boy is raised to be a dysfunctional human in society?
Yeah.
She takes part in it. Yes.
No, but I thought you accept the premise that the man is needed to raise the boy.
But she still takes part in it. She still takes part in the raising of that person to be a functional human being.
You cannot say you accept the premise that
I still accept. You can still accept the premise. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be a man, but he doesn't have to be a.
If you accept that premise that it takes a man to raise a boy, and the man leaves, the woman cannot do it. If you accept the premise, you already said you accept the premise.
I said that she can. You can raise that boy to be a functional person, but you cannot raise him to be a man.
Wait. So you are not accepting the premise that you need a man to raise a boy.
I am, but you're being rigid.
All right, I'm being rigid because
overly.
It requires rigidity. Like, you cannot just say that. So if we need a man to raise a boy, right, and the man disappears, it is very difficult for the woman to have
in that scenario,
child.
In that scenario, yes. In that scenario, yes. But you know what?
That's what I'm asking you. Can you accept that it's the man's fault?
Of course, I can accept it in that scenario. But you diverted. But you diverted from when I said that there are scenarios where women have chosen to be single mothers. Period. They have chosen to raise a child without the man.
Okay, wait. There is a group of about 30,000 women who are single mothers by choice. It is not statistically significant enough
to say that number from.
Huh?
Where'd you get that number from?
What do you mean?
You said 30,000 and you just threw that number out there? What?
No, there is a group. I did a video on this. There is a group of women who are single mothers by choice. They're middle to upper class, right? And that, fine. You can drag them however you want to drag them. They chose to do it, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. They're usually white women, though, right?
Hey, man,
I did a video on this. I am telling you, they are mostly white women who decided that they want to be single mothers by choice.
I agree.
All right. Are there black women who want children regardless of if the man is going to be there? Sure. You have to provide the stats to say that black women are choosing to be single mothers by choice, because I don't have that stat. So please provide me with that stat. I will take it any day.
I'm the burden. I'm going to bear the burden of proof with that stat. That there. First of all, see, you're asking for. I don't even know why you're even asking for stats. You just agreed that there are a group of black women who.
No, I said mostly white women. I said mostly white women. I'm pretty sure I said mostly white women, and you perked up, and you were like, "Oh, wait," and I was like, "Yeah," and you said you agree. So no. We said white women.
So you trying to tell me you never heard black women ever make the statement that they don't need no man?
Even if I did, you cannot use that to generalize.
No. I'm not. But I'm going to use it. I'm not going to use it to generalize. I'm going to use it to make my case that there is.
It sounds like you're just trying to find a reason to blame women and absolve men of responsibility. That's what it sounds to me like. That's what it sounds to me like. You're finding the tiniest reason to blame women for the problem in the black community and absolve the men. You just want to take away the focus.
No. What I'm trying to do is.
I'm sorry. People are asking if we can just move on. Absolutely not. We cannot just move on. This is an interesting conversation, and I need to understand what is happening here. So actually, Glowhanks has not spoken yet. So let's try to do Glowhanks, London, Adrian, and then Aaron.
I don't even know what to say. This is not what I was expected to even talk about. I just had a lot of thoughts from like the last video. Like I'm kind of like stoned right now. But wow. Yeah, I don't have anything to add right now. That's like of substance. Yeah.
I was told to ask DT if he has kids. Do you have kids? No? All right. Who was it? Was it London, Adrian? I think it's London next. Go ahead.
So my question would be then, just because they said they don't want men in the household, which, like I said, I don't think most single parent moms say this, but we'll say most for your sake on this. Does that resolve the man from being there for his kids? If you're a good man, we want to make sure these are good men we're talking about, right?
I think if women have legal custody of their children, they if there's not an arrangement, right, for co-parenting, right, depending on how they handle it in the courts, I think she does have a lot of the say of how often that the child can see the man. I think that's being leveraged a lot more than what you guys are actually trying to, admit to. That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
What is being leveraged a lot?
I'm sorry.
What is being leveraged a lot?
Oh, the fact that if the woman has legal custody of the child, she can control how much that child is able to be able to see that father. That child.
Yeah, if she has legal custody, why wouldn't the man be fighting for legal custody? Why would the woman alone have legal custody?
I agree. You know what? I don't know, Timus, and now I'm just gonna tell you this. I don't know, but I do agree that the man should have legal custody of the children if he wants to. I believe that.
Why would he not want to though? Because we're blaming women for the community. Why would he not want to make the community better?
Stop. I don't know. I believe he should do it.
What do you mean if he wants to?
No. I mean, I'm saying he's a person. I don't know. I mean, if he wants to do it, then he needs to do it.
So if you created a child, you should have legal rights to the child unless you are like you're not qualified. Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But it's not if you want to. It is not if you want to.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I agree. He should be wanting to have legal custody of that child. Absolutely. But in a lot of cases, that's not the case either. The woman has the legal custody.
Yeah, because a lot of the fight in family court is about like paying for child support and like fighting against paying for child support. But we're not even going to get into that conversation. Go ahead, Aaron, and then we go to Obi.
Yeah. First, I want to say thank you for having me on. Second, I want to address DT's comments about do we not have women in the community that are saying they don't need no man. I can tell you that this is based off of circumstances. No woman who is in her right mind, when I say right mind, is going to deny help with raising children. I was raised in a 2-parent household, but I have single women in my family on both sides. It's a trend. No woman in their right mind is going to say, I don't need no man. I don't need no help raising this child. When they're struggling, whether they live in a bad area because of them having to work 2 jobs to afford rent, whatever. That's just, I just wanted to address that because that just seems, I don't know. And I hate that statement. It's based off of circumstances because they have to, not because they want to.
Yeah. Obi.
Because the men are not stepping up to take care of their responsibilities, right? I'm actually trying to start a fund I'm working with a bunch of a few of my black friends to start a fund to help black men who want to fight for 50-50 custody of their children. So I want to see how many black men will take that up. I'm actually doing that because everybody's saying what's the solution. I was like, yeah, I should do something about that. So I talked to a bunch of fathers around me, people that are single fathers and things like that. Like, let's start a fund. So if you say you want to be in your child's life and there's somehow you need legal support to get 50-50 custody, let's get it. I want to make it as public as possible so I want to see how many men take that up, and I'm not trying to just not dodge the responsibility of raising children and just trying not to pay $40 a week of child support.
Oh, this does not end here. I'm going to match the donation to donate to the women abuse shelter. It's a shelter for women who have been abused. I don't know why I worded it like that. And we need to create mentorships for young men as a sort of general matter. For people who believe in a community, DTI will not force you to come and mentor young people. But we do need to do something that is like actionable. So I appreciate that, Obi. Ask DT about men who relinquish their rights at birth. I don't know how I should ask. What do you think about men who relinquish their rights at birth?
I don't think nothing of it. I think men should take responsibility of their children that they created.
Do you think they should take responsibility though? Because you were saying it was fine. But based on if I'm not going to be blamed, I'm gonna leave. If I won't have any responsibility, I'm just gonna leave. You can blame the woman. She did it wrong.
I think you guys I think y'all taking my stance to the extreme, which is fine because I think it should be tested.
Are you in support of abortion?
I'm sorry.
Are you pro-abortion?
I am.
Listen,
I am pro-choice, but it is what it is.
Listen, at the end of the day, I feel like.
Yes or no, sir?
The woman. No, actually, stop. We're not answering that question. I know why you asked, Obi. I don't think a bunch of men should be talking about abortion.
That's a lot of men. The reason I'm asking is that in these circles, I hear a lot of men blame women for all the abortions. Look at all the abortions they're committing and stuff like that, right? So it sounds like a lot of black men really don't want black women having abortions. So they're not pro-abortion. So if these kids are not going to be aborted and they're going to be birthed, somebody's going to have to step up and take care of them. So they need to be taking care of their kids. That's all I'm saying.
The system. I do have a question I do have something to say regarding this entire conversation.
Wait, before you go, guys, you can start thinking about whether other smoke you may or may not have for me, because I'm still open, like it's open season on Themis, but we're going to move the conversation forward. Hey, Mahogany Pink, I don't see you, but I see people shouting you out. Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding adorable kid. Regarding DT's entire point and everything, I can see where he's coming from regarding the rearing or raising of the child. As in, if you're raising them with toxic point of views or overall general concept of you need to overtly express your masculinity because you're because you're the only male, you're the man of the house, so you have to take on more responsibility. I can see where he's coming from with that, but I still take on I still take on a point of view where like the man leaving is the problem.
Yeah, because if you were there, you could prevent them from teaching them that.
Actually, I'm against that, because when I was growing up, I was told, even when my father was teaching me stuff, I was told I should be critical of what the men in my life are teaching me. So I have to be critical of, are they teaching me stuff that will help me in my future? They're not dealing with the same type of female or women counterparts that I'm dealing with currently. So I would say, just because the man is in the house doesn't mean the man's going to teach the son or teach your daughter properly. Essentially,
Erica, can you message me in the back on Instagram and let me know how to slow this down? Because I'm in the studio and I don't see it. Go ahead.
Okay. If the man, understandable. If you, a man can be in your life but still become a detrimental part of it.
Agreed.
Yeah. So having a man in the house, essentially the father, is a good idea on paper, practically. But in real life, there's too many things that are involved in the situation.
Yeah,
But
no, 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 no. Pause. That's the red herring. Here's why.
mm,
It doesn't matter. What we're saying, even if you're in there and you're crap, it's still your fault for being crap. Like you shouldn't be having the child then if you're a crap dad, right? It's still your fault. Now, if the woman is not doing her job as a mother, then she should be blamed for not doing her part of as a mother. But you don't get to say, well, not every dad. Yeah, we know not every dad is good. We know this. Some men, it's better to not have that man around at all, like
okay.
at all, particularly when it comes to abuse. Here for it, I'm with you.
And
It's
behave.
still
Yeah.
their fault. It is still their fault.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. A man, this is one thing I agree with you. Once you pass the age of 18, technically everything is your responsibility to figure out. This is why I'm not this is why I'm not harping on the point of me being young or anything, because I'm still learning. Because if I have a child right now, it's up to my responsibility to learn how to be a proper father for this child, right?
Yep.
So that's understandable. um my point of view is just like I've seen it in my face, and even in my own life, how even though the women are praised, back no, I won't say praised, the women are seen as the ones who are taking care of the household and are taking care of the children.
They
Sometimes they
are.
don't teach. Yeah, sometimes they don't teach or relay this, because relay proper essentially teaching points or behavioral characteristics.
It's really
You
difficult when you don't have any help. It's real difficult. It's
but
real
it's up
difficult.
Yeah,
It
but
is
it's up
real. It's
but
almost impossible to create a fully functioning human being when half of the parenting is gone, and psychologically that is going to impact the child regardless. It is
but
real difficult.
But past 18, it's up to you to figure out that by yourself. This is why this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and following your channel, even though I some parts of it I don't like. Um, I follow your channel because you do teach things, even though some stuff are being repeated constantly because the same people are coming up on. But I feel like when you reach a certain point in your young adulthood, you should take it up on yourself to question why you think the way you think. That's one thing I'm on.
But I agree with you, brother. I don't mean to cut you off, but you know
No,
but that's not realistic, man. We know that it's about the upbringing, period. It's
No.
about how are you
no.
raised.
I mean,
Listen,
yeah, yeah,
you don't
it
get
is
to
about the
18 and
upbringing.
then you just turn your life around on your own. You get this epiphany. That
I
happens in
think it.
small numbers.
I agree with you. It is about
Okay.
the upbringing. It is about the upbringing. I completely agree with you.
Oh no.
Men need to be around to help this upbringing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
exactly.
problem.
They don't have a choice. They have to be there to help bring them foot up. So
Yeah, it's the upbringing, and they're not there. And the
And
psychological impact on you not be like just the absence alone is already causing psychological damage.
right.
Not to mention the absence of teaching men how to do what they need to do. I don't understand what's difficult here.
No, I agree with you. And so,
but
in the beginning, I'm sorry, y'all. In the beginning of the conversation, I jumped in and I said, hey, you know what? I feel like at the end of the day, the relationship dynamic between the man and the woman, there needs to be some type of a value system that's set right there, some foundation to build off of, you know what I'm saying? To build off of. Right now, there's no real true code. There's no value. There's nothing to build off of in the community. And that's why I said it's kind of hard to say that you have a black community if there's nothing that's being built off of in the nuclear, like in a nuclear household. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how people not follow me on that and think that we can just jump past that and start attacking the problem with fully raised adults by the time they're 18, 20, whatever. You know what I mean?
You can't jump past that, but at what point do you take control of your own life?
By the way, you guys can talk. Please be respectful. I'm trying to figure. I don't know what was just said. I need to slow down the chat. So go ahead and speak.
Yeah.
London,
can I
please
talk
respect
after Aaron?
London. London is going to be in charge for a second. Give me 2 seconds.
May I talk after Aaron? But go, Aaron.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that. At what point do you know? I understand completely it's about your upbringing, and you can't control that. That's something that's out of your control. But at what point, as a grown black man, do you say, "Okay, this is not working"? whether it's going to therapy, whether it's talking to other mentors, other OGs in your community that have done it right. That's just my point. We talk about solutions, and that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Your life was messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's not your fault. But now, as a grown individual, you have to take it by the reins and try and fix it.
Going with carrying on what you said, when you're going to ask these questions, or when you're going to know what you're going to do, my question to you guys is, I'll say, excluding being a father and excluding being essentially a husband, whatever you want to say, what is because I keep hearing real men and actual masculinity. What is the role of a real man within the community? Because I keep hearing it, but there hasn't been much of, other than Theme is saying economic wealth and all that stuff, and building community and building programs. From each of your perspective, what do you think is the man's role, or essentially the real man's role in the community?
Who want to go first?
This sounds like up Obi's alley right now.
Oh yeah, the father. Yes.
Oh, I personally don't like when people say a real man, because when people use that word, they try to use it to separate themselves, to claim that whatever they're saying is what's real and the other people are not. I really don't like that terminology. But like, I think men, first of all, should provide leadership, should show example. Like, as a father, my son is sitting right here. He knows how to act. He knows how to behave around other people. It's my job to show him how to navigate this world as a man, how to talk to women, how to talk to other boys. I was at the playground with him this morning, and how to stand up for himself when somebody pushes him up from the swing, and things like that. Women have a different way of doing that, right? So because I'm in my son's life, I'm able to show him how to behave in different environments. That's on the micro level. Then in the community, it's our job to set the rules of the community. It's our job to build. Look what's going on in Ukraine right now. The men are standing back to protect everybody else. It doesn't matter who you like and who you don't like.
I'm so sorry. Is the chat slowed down? I think I did it.
So yeah, it's the men's job to create and enforce the culture of a society. Yeah. It is our job to choose the right women to have our children, and to protect those women and those children. And if we all do it, that equals a better society. It's our job to make sure that the people that are going to run around in our society that make trouble are checked and put away, so that they don't disturb the society. They don't create this thing we have in this community. It's the failure of us as men to check these men, to create the kind of culture that we want. To say, like, people say, like, all these women or whatever. If the good men actually choose the women, and not in people that cannot. First of all, a man should control his penis, first of all.
Discipline.
That is the primary responsibility. If most young men right now from 30 and below make a vow not to nut in the women that they have sex with, I'm not saying go have whatever you do is your property, whatever. At least not do that. That is primary power. Once you let that thing go out of your body into somebody else's body, you are taking your power and giving it to a woman you don't even trust to be a mom.
Right, yeah.
Facts.
So, like, primarily just holding that back will solve a lot of the problems.
Yep.
Wait, pause. Period. Like, that is it. That literally, that is it. And you can't blame the woman. Like,
if you just tell them, our young men, whatever you do, make sure it is your power. You are responsible for women getting pregnant. Yeah. This woman cannot get pregnant on your watch. That is what a real man does. Until you're willing to wife her or willing to take care of that child. You should not be releasing your bodily fluids into another woman's body. If we adopt that in the Black community as what real men are, men are not irresponsible and reckless with their penises. If we can actually just adopt that will solve a lot of the problems.
That's definitely something I agree with you on for the first time in this whole conversation. 100% right there, man.
Thank you.
Can I piggyback off Obi for a second, real quick?
If you agree with him in that, and everyone did that, then the second level of the conversation doesn't even come up about who to blame. Like it doesn't come up at all. If values matter, that should be the aim of dating prior to expectation of sex while dating, because dating doesn't equate to a partner you respect and are confident in co-parenting with. Agreed. Part of it I got a bit confused, but I generally agree. So I'm going to say agree. Thank you, Rose. Go ahead, London. I don't know who you were talking to next, sorry.
No, I was going to say that I agree with Obi and would also push that we got to start teaching other younger Black boys to start being more productive. I don't know about nobody else, but $50,000 on average is embarrassing as a community. Yeah. And I also think that we, with that, we should start being more business oriented instead of always training our kids to work for somebody else. I think that's something we need to really get into heavy. But I guess that's just my opinion.
A little pushback on that is
I'm gonna push back.
I
on
agree
that
with
too,
you
yeah.
of us being more entrepreneurial. I think more of us to start more businesses and all that stuff. But like realistically, not everybody can run a business. More of us actually need to run businesses. More of us need to start and run businesses, but not all of us can run businesses. Well, people that have businesses need actually workers too. So we should not be talking down on people that decide they're going to work the rest of their lives. But there's a lot down the road about being financially responsible and not knowing how to control our resources and not spending it on trivialities. But first of all, I agree with you. We should encourage more people to start businesses, but not everybody's going to succeed in those businesses.
Yeah. And I understand, but my thing is this. I don't think it's necessarily the starting of the business that's always the problem, too. I think that we just need to get the information out there. That way, when
that mentality of ownership is important. I agree with you.
Even if you can't own a business.
Soft and Wet, you're a guy. I remember this. You are welcome to come on. I don't know if you get to only ask questions. You have to answer them, too. Prince Petty, I know you're in the back and you're messaging in the private chat. I am not reading the private chat because you can come up, just turn on your camera.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say that the reason I said we should be more business minded is because we have to have understand the value of us owning more companies, even if we work for another Black person. One, hopefully the boss or whatever, whoever the boss is, will treat people better, as well as everybody on the same page. Also building our own communities. It shouldn't be that Mexicans, Arabs, and everybody else can come in our communities, have every liquor store, gas station, and everything else sewn up, and then we don't even have stuff in our own community, but we're spending trillions of dollars with all these other businesses throughout the whole year, and we don't have no claim to fame with this stuff. Like I think financial literacy is a plus. I think that should be really a high school course, even though economics is. It doesn't really, to me. Like, I think we should emphasize that more in our households than outside.
It should start from. That's why men need to be in the household too, because like my son is 5 years old. He got a bank account at 4, and every month I drive him to the bank, and we put money in the bank. So he learns that monthly he puts money away. We need to teach our children. That's why men need to be there. So they can teach their children how to save, how to invest in things like that. Like that is super important.
I went back. I will not show the actual from 2019 to 2022, the actual wealth gap between Black and white, because it's really disrespectful.
Embarrassing.
So I'm going to show something else. It's similar, but how do we fix this?
I just got into the game. I don't know how to help any of this. I'm still in college. I'm trying my best here. Because
we need to start by first agreeing with a community.
I agree with that.
Everyone's allowed their own opinion. But I did want to hear from Aaron actually.
Go ahead.
And first of all, I want to say, Obi, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I agree 100%. But one thing I will add to, and I'm gonna try not to sound too petty, and when I say this, the wrong mentorship. I'm sorry, these Black YouTube dating coaches They gotta go. I'm sorry.
They're not gonna go though. They're not gonna
That's
go.
something I can talk about.
I'm tired. I'm sorry. Like,
it's a hustle though, right? They're taking advantage of the millions of boys that don't have fathers.
Exactly.
They're lessing these boys. They're pandering to the boys, and the boys are super chatting them, and that's a hustle. What we can do is the people that we need to be a voice too. That's why I actually came on this live, because this is my first live, whatever, but like, we need to start speaking up.
Facts.
More of us need to start speaking up. There needs to be an alternative voice. So when those kids try those things and go out on the streets and try this game and spend a few years of their life wasting it and find out that it's unfulfilling and doesn't make any sense, and get into maybe their first, second, third child support situation, they can have an alternative where to go.
Well, if you
there's got to be an
want
alternative
to have these conversations more frequently, I can't dedicate it to like every week, obviously, but we can definitely start our little group where we talk about stuff like this.
Those voices the voices of the alternative need to be louder and more consistent, because every day these guys are spending hours on these other YouTube channels learning how to hate everybody else and not doing anything productive. So there needs to be a counter narrative, and it's on the people. Instead of blaming the people that are doing it wrong, there needs to be a counter narrative.
Something interesting on this aspect. Kevin Samuels and all of them are right about this one specific thing when it comes to resources.
Mm-hmm.
If men can get resources, they can get women. So if your problem is women, you can get resources and then you will get women. Like
I'll push back, because some weirdos are weirdos, and some women can pick up on that right away. So
very much.
It don't matter how much money you got if you're a weirdo.
I promise you. I actually do believe that there is a sort of correlation between how much access to women you get and how much it's a direct causal connection between your money and how much women you can get. Now, obviously, obviously some women don't care about your money or whatever, but you can have women, and there are more women than men. So there is a woman out there. In fact, the problem with this is Black women aren't hypergamous statistically. But it still works.
They can't be.
Yeah, I mean, they can't.
It is statistically impossible for most Black women to be hypergamous. Who are they, like?
Who?
Where's the money at?
And again,
but once again, though, too, these same guys want specific women.
This feels like a grown people conversation, because my generation right now are going after older men, but they're going after older men with money. So
not your generation. Qualify that. The people you know in your generation, it is not your generation. I promise you that. There are.
If you have stats, I would love to read that. But currently,
you can go on there. The stats on the Brookings EDU does differentiate with age. Like the ages are listed. They're not. Black women, by and large, are not hypergamous. Like OB says, they can't be.
Even if they wanted to be, like, who are they going to get it from?
Unless they're going to quote unquote divest.
But even historically, Black women have always worked. I mean, this has been documented. You know,
Yeah.
they could not sustain a household with just one income.
Yeah.
So you're saying Black men have always been feminists?
That's so weird. Brookings have everything on there. You can find almost anything there. No, I mean, that's the reality. Now you will hear people talk about getting the bag and all of that stuff with Sweetie, who cannot rap, talking now. There is a kind of like a new voice. I am for hypergamy. Let's be clear.
Hey.
I don't agree with Jordan Peterson on a lot of things, but a woman have a lot to lose. If you ask DT, if most men are like DT, they're going to blame the woman for how the child comes out. There is a lot at stake for a woman. So I think you should be hypergamous. Now, that person you're dating hopefully is also good and nice and all of those things
quality,
too.
Yeah.
Hypergamy is a natural imperative. Like like women are looking for. Women naturally are looking for men that can provide and protect their children while they're taking care of the children. We've just built a society that has warped it all, and like because men are not making enough money to take care of more than one person, like women have to go out and work.
DT, they say you look annoyed. Are you annoyed?
Nah, man. I'm just listening to y'all. I love to hear y'all's perspective on this. I mean, I thought we was talking about that wealth gap between whites and blacks.
I mean, no one has an answer. But before we go back to it, do you think black women should be hypergamous?
Hell yeah, why not? I mean, yeah. I mean, I was just laughing at in the comments. How I think it was a Tinky Tink. She was talking about you can't be hypergamous with black men. I thought that was funny. But you know, you got
to be hypergamous, and man needs to have enough money to be able to take care of himself.
Her and the whole household.
Wait. So Dean says pander song. No.
Here we go.
Dean, you can come up here. If you don't come up here, you don't get to talk. So all the moderators in the chat, please remove Dean whenever he says anything until he comes up here. Because he got time to twerk in the chat. He got time to come up here.
Explain yourself, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, that's not him. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just saying because I think that's a sport all women play. You know, the hypergamous game. I mean, a man should be worried about developing himself and trying to get his bag right. And making sure that he's got the resources and everything that a woman would need to try to build something with him, whether that's have a child or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think all women are entitled to play the game. I think brothers, it's particularly black men, should worry about hustling, figuring out what it is that these other races are doing. When you showed that chart with whites and blacks, the wealth gap disparity, I mean, mostly that comes from two things. The two most valuable, well, I ain't gonna say most valuable, but the two assets that they try to say that whites have that blacks have less of is homes and stocks. So that's where most of that comes from. Black people don't really get into the stock market like that collectively, and home ownership isn't something that inherently we have generation to generation passed down.
Yeah, because we have been blocked from buying homes that appreciate, right? And so this is also a part of the bigger sort of community level and white supremacy conversation that should be had, right? I mean, we can go there now if you guys want to, but what do we do about white supremacy?
Well,
I do. I do have a couple. But starting with education. So I'm definitely not on the road of your college degree doesn't help. So education, starting with education, along with history. Teaching history is one of the major parts of what I do when I volunteer for like boys and girls clubs and foster homes. I try to tell them my own perspective and tell them about our any type of history or heritage we have. Another one is, even though I believe in the community, and I feeling that you should help the next person to you and be kind to them. Um, that short and that I'll say shout out to Katrina when you were in your earlier lives. Having media or any type of pictures or videos of people so people can share it and show that the image of the black community is not just this one thing. It's not a monolith. So I feel like that helps in the overall
One
thing.
second. Time to go. These men are gay identified, sick men from Europe with scoop up, marry black Cubanas exam. You need to get a thesaurus, a dictionary, and you need to go to English class. I have no clue what they're saying. Like all these period, like no, at least put together a good sentence. I have no clue what you're talking. The last, I can't even say the last part of this sentence because I don't know where one sentence begin and end.
But you want to talk somebody
like time to go. It's been time to go. Go to school. That's where it's been time to. Let me stop. A man should have the ability to retain and willingness to share surplus resource. If he can only sustain himself, he is merely independent. If he is willing to share, he is if he is unwilling. I was like, oh, miser. Yeah, leadership requires for you to sacrifice. There is tutor.com. No, look, I can teach you English. I had to learn when I came to America that color was not spelled with a U. So it's fine.
I think they changed it, Themis. Like now you can spell it both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interchangeable.
It's okay. Someone said, if you respected your it's the same person, you would love your black woman, but you don't. You are gay. All right. So
Wow.
like even if we accept homosexuality, can you not love someone even if you don't want to have sexual intercourse with them? Is love predicated on sexual intercourse?
Hey, Themis.
No.
Hey, Themis, you don't respect your you don't respect your family, and you would love so you don't love black women then, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, period. You can't be gay. Oh my God, comprehension level is low. I thought you were going, by the way. I thought you said you were going. You're just here twerking. You better
say,
twerk.
pussy.
Dean is here. Dean.
What is
What is that? Is that a building?
Oh, Dean in the building.
Don't say that.
Go
Don't say
ahead.
that.
Dean is in the shadows today.
Dean, you are the only. I feel like I'm being wrong, but I let someone show their forehead earlier, so I will let this slide. Oh, there you are.
I'm driving.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you said we were here pandering. Come through.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Don't.
Yeah, it's like who can out pander who. But it's but I get it because a lot of what they're saying is actually right. So, but
it's pandering, right?
That pandering is
it's right, but it's pandering.
It's the way how it's being delivered. It's like you can't admit that women choose to be single sometimes, or you can't admit that women don't want 50-50.
Wait,
man.
Hello?
Don't want 50-50. Are you talking about black women? Wait, no, pause. Are you saying black women don't want why do you want 50-50?
I'm talking about paternity. I'm talking about custody of children.
Are you a feminist, Dean?
Am I a feminist?
Like
yeah, women have the right to do whatever they want to do.
All right. So you are here for 50-50.
Women want 50-50 though, Themis.
I'm talking about custody. I'm talking about 50-50 custody.
50-50 custody. It's not about what women
I'm struggle
want,
streaming. I'm so sorry. I'm ruining.
All right. Well, I don't. Dean, you still there?
I'm here, but I think my earpiece is going in and out.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Let me fix this.
All right, go ahead, fix it and then come back. All right. Dean is a troll, not a horrible troll, but one that just derails the conversation. How are you going to say we are pandering, but then say, oh, you're right.
And everything they said was right.
Let me just put this up, the definition of pandering, just an FYI.
No.
I find it very
For those with the
insulting.
5th grade comprehension.
This reminds me of when Miss Deanne explained it to Silent Nights. Wow, that was a read.
That was a read. Anywho, go ahead, S&W, Soften.
So basically, I wanted to ask the men on the panel a couple questions.
You get to ask one.
Y'all are at least moderately successful, right?
We don't know that. We gonna lie.
Well, I don't know because I wanted to get some tips from them.
I'm going cap.
What do you measure by success, though? What do you mean by success? Because
like you're well off. Like you don't go to sleep hungry or anything, and you've like done something in your life that helps the community.
Oh, I can't. Okay, that question's not for me then.
Wait, how do we help the community?
No, I think
that's what I said last time.
Are the guys on the panel basically financially at least able to support themselves, their families, and still have food on the table and go to sleep without worries? And then on top of that, What have we done for the community?
So let me just say, I think that the place we are at as a community, DT, not all of us have the financial resource to. We don't have surplus in terms of financial resources, right?
Mhm.
But you do have time, right? And you, with your time, you can give that to other people in the community. So I don't want us to frame the conversation only in terms of the ability to give financial resources. I'm not going to answer first. I'm going to let other people. But when it comes to the community, I think you can build community. You need financial resources. But where we are now, I presume not everyone have access to enough financial resource in surplus to be giving to everyone. So we can talk both financially, because I donate a lot, but we can also broaden it to I also teach high school and inner city schools. So we can broaden this to be more expansive.
So like things like volunteer work, food drives, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but more long-term things, because for me, it's about like trying to create a pseudo relationship with children, particularly children, and figuring out how to be involved in their lives to help them. It's a lot to ask, but I mean, that's how I think about it. But anyone else up here can think about it any other way and explain it how they do it.
I mean, for me, right? I'm in the Navy, so I try to talk to my sailors, and I try to explain to them and let them know how to better succeed within the Navy, and how to act when they're out in public, right? Because right now I'm in Korea, so
Oh, you are?
yes.
Thank you for your service, man.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you.
thank you. But how I act out in public is a representation of how they see us in the rear. So I just make sure that they are on their P's and Q's, right? Like for me personally, I don't like do-rags outside the house. That's me, right? Because I think it's a negative representation of us. And so I tell my juniors every day, I say, hey, when you're walking around base, don't be wearing your do-rag. Point blank period. That's me.
No. And also, like, I try to mentor people who want to go to law school. I do that more like sending information and explaining the process that you can do very easily. Someone said to ask DT, you guys gonna leave DT alone.
Hey! I see they trying to go in. I see they trying to go in on me in the chat. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. I'm out here in Mexico, man. I don't work for nobody.
Leave DT alone.
I work for myself. I work out 3 times a week. I run probably every morning, bike ride on Sundays. So if y'all in the chat looking fat and sloppy, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all might need to follow me.
We can't do that.
Look,
get on it.
All hands went there.
Get on it.
I'm just gonna let that slide, because if we go into it, the women are gonna want to come up here to defend themselves, and
they can come if they want. I'm defending myself right now.
Not. How are you looking to? Why are you looking to argue with women, DT?
Chill, bro. Don't
it's just a roast. It's an innocent roast. It ain't no like I'm going hard. I don't really give a damn. To be honest, I'm straight.
What do you mean by that? Why are you looking to argue with women? That stuff like that. I really question.
No, yeah.
Or was it?
We are talking.
Women can defend themselves.
I said you cannot focus on Annalicia, because tonight we're talking about men. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
She's a respected
person.
So why? I think SNW is still looking for some answers. I don't think he's going to law school.
I'm in animal science. I'm an animal science major.
You told me.
Hey,
that's good.
So that means I have to take ag classes and animal science courses. But the reason why I asked is because what I would ask these men is, how do you start to implement those programs that could maybe not necessarily financially help, but help in other ways, like putting healthy food in the bellies of the people of our community, because we already know if you eat junk, your body's gonna be junk. So what I was researching the other day was urban agriculture, window gardening, stuff like that, because as we know, in these inner cities, there's a lot of food deserts. And while a lot of people tend to try to make the point that Black people or Black women in particular are overweight, my thing is, if you want to change that, or if you care, why not start like restructuring the community at a fundamental base, because we already know the basis of all civilization started with agriculture. So if we start teaching ourselves in the young folk in our community simple things like how to plant, how to maintain soil health, so that you can grow food for yourself and fill yourself with fulfilling food, then I think that this weight thing would go away. And I do believe that food heals. So all this stuff all these excuses would kind of start to fall away, because as we know, food, it improves everything in the body, and it allows the body to function. So this whole thing with Black boys not being able to read, you put the right food in their bodies and you push them, they'll be able to get it, understand it better, because they're not trying to think about how they're going to eat tonight. And you fill them with brain food, they start to utilize that gray matter in their brain more, and they'll be able to what essentially will happen is you will basically reinforce good health in the community, which will reinforce if you choose to enact programs that reinforce good education in the community, reinforce all these good habits to have it throughout the community. And so what I want to do is I want to start on that. Even as a sophomore in college right now, I want to help back home in Dallas. So my thing is,
I was looking for something while you spoke, because I knew I read this somewhere, but I didn't know where. When you say Black women are the most obese, I think we are misrepresenting that stat.
I didn't say that. Now I did imply it, but that's because I read it in my Black stat book.
All right. I think the way the stat is done is incorrect. Just an FYI.
Can you explain that real quick?
Because is it not based on European standards?
No, well, even if that is not even that, not that. I think the way they treat Hispanic as a race in the stats.
Oh.
And so if you put white Hispanics with white women are the most obese. So I think the way in which I can pull it up at the CDC. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know anything about food and food security and stuff like that. I try to be healthy. I make sure my family is as healthy as we can be. What I think everybody, especially since we're a panel of men here, men should actually choose a section of the community that they want to improve as part of just our lifestyle in general. Like I'm in tech. So like one of the things I do is to help businesses and people that wanted to get into technology and help businesses to especially Black businesses to employ technology in their businesses to make it grow. And I do that for free for a lot of businesses. So like that is my contribution. And I think every Black people that care, because I'm not gonna say every Black man, not everybody cares, but people that care should do something within their sphere of influence to just And we should also highlight a lot of people that do that also too, because there's a lot of hardworking Black men that are trying to uplift the community. Nobody hears about them. All we hear about the people that are throwing bombs all over the place and destroying things.
Yeah.
So
One
we should
second.
actually have a voice to uplift the men that are working really hard to make
someone said
things
Cynthia
better.
G broke down that stat. I didn't see it, but sure. I don't know. But yeah, so if you look at actual race, then no, Black women aren't the most abused. Just an FYI. Continue.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh.
Go ahead, bro. You're wiser than me.
Oh no! Can I put something?
I don't think so. We are all learning from each other. Like your husband. Go ahead.
S&W essentially. One thing to help is if people aren't able to access essentially community gardens or community produce areas, I think um uh not essentially portable but makeshift food pantries could help as well, because I understand a lot in a lot of poor communities that are predominantly minority, specifically Black. They're like food deserts. You would see like a McDonald's closer to you than you would see like um uh the nearest grocery store or farmers market that has
Right.
fresh
If
fruit.
it's not within a mile of walking distance, it's considered a food desert.
Yeah, I do have um a friend. He graduated the university I'm going to. He he after he got his job, he lives in Wilmington. He participates in essentially buying fresh food and then advertising it around the poor parts of Wilmington, and giving it away for free. He's from Bahamas, and he thinks he that's the same thing he does when he goes back home. He puts money into different businesses, and that's something I saw in him that I also want to participate in. So I understand what you're going with. Is just um practically how would we get a large enough following to that? That's where coming from.
Well,
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, if we go back to once again having obviously everybody's not going to own a business, having Black businesses in those particular neighborhoods, and they get with Black farmers who are very underfranchised, then we can kind of solve some of those problems. A lot of Black farmers don't get not only didn't get credit from the government and stuff they deserved or the money, which I think they recently got reimbursed for. But if we start going with our own, and they're willing to work with us, why not get the business, go to the Black farmers, get the food, and now we're supplying ourselves with food.
Let's change gears back a little. And there's a company that it's called Homestead Hustle and Healing. They do agriculture and teach agriculture in and around the metro area. So you guys should look them up. Homestead Hustle and Healing. Where am I? Okay. So Gozi, is that how you say your name? Gozi. What do you have for us?
Well, I just came in, so I was gonna talk off what you guys were talking about.
All right. Let's go. Actually, wanted to get your everyone's opinion on this, so we can kill this thing. Are you guys aware of the quote unquote passport bros?
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't.
Vaguely.
All right.
I don't.
So when I was in undergrad, I used to write on white men going abroad, particularly to Asia, but also in the Caribbean, to poor countries to get quote unquote wives. I didn't know that it has become a thing that that apparently Black men do, or are talking about doing. How do we? First of all, do you guys agree? Aww, Obi.
1 second, guys.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You have parental duty, Skull. So men are talking about going to poor countries to get women to cater to them and be submissive the woman that is. This sounds extremely abusive. It seems you're attempting to weaponize these women's need for resources to obtain a slave-type relationship. Please note the people online making these statements. All right. Do we have disagreements with that statement?
What do you mean, like disagreements that it's a slave type abusive thing?
Yeah, that is abusive. Yeah.
It really is up. It really is up to the individual. I don't know about Passport Bros content.
Wait, pause.
But I've heard about it.
Pause.
But I don't. The way the rhetoric is taught.
Wait. I think he's talking generally. I think I think it's from a general point of view.
When a man says he's going to a quote poor countries, which we should define, right? If you're saying you're intentionally going there, the only way I can see this as not a horrible mindset is if you're from that country, right? And you're saying, I want to go back to my country to get my woman,
because that was my goal too. To go back to Jamaica and marry woman that's marrying Jamaican.
Yeah, so
but that's different. Yeah, I understand.
But I think Obi opposed. Go ahead, Obi.
I think the people that are called Passport Bros are a very small minority, first of all. And
but it's the minority in the Black community. Thankfully,
they are a minority in the Black community. That's number one point I have to make. Number two is that I don't think it's necessary to police what people do with their money, because I think
Oh, I actually do. I
think these guys are saying that it's impossible or it's very difficult to find submissive wives in this culture. So
pause, Obi, pause right there. If submission is based on economics, that is a problem.
I may have a moral argument to make, but I'm trying to.
But so is it a problem if the woman if the woman is creating the terms of that agreement? If she said, I'm not going to submit to you unless you got the bag, then is that wrong too?
Then she can define her terms of submission. If you are weaponizing money, if you're going to go to another country, a quote unquote poor country, you recognize that you're using, it's like a white person deciding to use white privilege to gain an advantage.
I agree with you on a moral point of view. That is my point.
No, it's not just a moral point of view. There's a legal point here. Because even when it comes to the age of these women, the age differs. The age of consent differs for a lot in different countries. And we have people. Part of why I did the post, by the way, is because a ton of lawyers are coming together to try to draft federal legislation that would actually prosecute people who engage in go overseas to have sex with children. Yeah, because in certain countries you are allowed to do that, right? And there was an attempt to try to figure out how we could prevent that when it's like extraterritorial sort of issue. That's why I made the post.
To protect the girls.
Yes, it's the boys' jobs to protect the girls. Yes, that's true.
Can I finish what I was saying, Themis?
Wait, are you responsive to this prompt?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So the way I was seeing it, I was because I'm ignorant to that. I was looking at it like people's individual reasons for going. Because when one goes to another country or another region, you have to acknowledge the fact that cultures are different. Yeah?
Yeah.
But I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe that it is right to go there just to do that.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, have a other reason for going. I mean,
yeah, but I need
in the manosphere it says like don't make women your sole reason for doing anything.
Well,
and this is that.
Apparently, no one in the manosphere lives by that rule, so we're just gonna ignore that.
I watched this content creator called Bronzebird, and he talks about
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, and I don't care. I'm sorry. I want you to be responsive specifically to the prompt, right? If someone says that they are going to a quote poor country, I've actually heard this verbatim, that the poor country part, right? I am going to a poor country to get a woman to submit to me. You don't think that's a problem with, like, just even the thought of saying, because they're in a poor country, I can get them to submit to me. You don't see like a psychological issue there. Not that they. I'm confused. I don't understand the argument.
Can I respond?
Wait, before you go, Obi, go ahead, because people.
I think it's exploitative. I think it is exploitative. I actually had this conversation. With someone who is in the passport bro community a few days ago, and he was trying to make the argument that he feels that there are no submissive women in America, and he wants a submissive woman, and so he wants to take he wants to go to another culture where other men. That this is what I've said. Other men have created a culture of having women that are submissive, so that he wants to go to that culture and get a submissive wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's exploitative. I think we should develop our culture
100%.
and marry women from our culture and lead women from our culture. If you want a submissive woman, I think you can find submissive women in this country. There are a lot of
people call this nesting. I think the word was someone used, but it almost seems like people believe, the community, there is no community, DT, so they just go to another community, right?
Yes.
That is a giving up on your responsibility in creating the community you want. Instead of doing the hard work to create the community you want, you go to someone else's community. But let's ask this question: Should women submit to men generally? My answer is no. I don't really care who agrees or don't agree. But as a fruitcake, I don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I don't care if they submit or not. Honestly, it don't make me no difference.
I think I don't like the word submit. I would say that we need to cooperate with each other.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
In my family, I'm the leader of my family. I'm the leader. I'm a man. I take responsibility for leading my family. Mm-hmm. That is my family. We work together, and I lead my family. I make the decisions in my family.
You don't make the decision. Hold on. You don't lead the community. You don't help the community, bro.
What do you mean?
We talking specifically
about you all about your family and leading your family. What about the community you was talking about earlier, man?
I start from leading my family. That's part of the community. If you handle yours, then everybody will be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
If you handle your family and I handle my family and everybody handles their family, we're fine.
Oh, so you okay? Well, can we go back? Can we go back now, Timus? You hear him, right?
Wait. Oh, Lord. I don't think he said anything inconsistent. So go.
All right. You know what? Nah, let's go. Let's go forward.
No.
He got a gotcha moment.
No, DT.
I think what he's trying to say.
Oh, go ahead. Goes I forgot your name. Sorry.
Goze. So I think what the guy above me is trying to say is that some people consider their family the only community that they want to care about. So he's saying that you don't really care about the outer community.
No, but Obi specifically said that yes, you start with your family and then you go out and lead the community. Like
I know, I'm just interpreting.
Wait, DT.
Oh. So let's reverse engineer that, right?
All right, go ahead.
All right, so okay. All I was saying is that, hey man, your definition of a community, I think is not really the definition of a community if it doesn't fundamentally include the nuclear family, your situation first. You got to have that first to go out and have that interconnection, right?
I agree with you.
That's all I was saying earlier. See, and y'all put me in
no, that's not all you were saying. You said a lot more than that.
You said that there's no community.
You said a lot more than that.
You know what? It's all good. It's all good.
That's what Obi was saying, but you said a lot more. Anywho, go ahead. I definitely just forgot your name again. Goze.
Yeah, I was just interpreting so that there wouldn't be any confusion. why he was acting shocked.
So we all agree that specifically going to a poor country for a submissive woman is not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Not okay at all.
No, 100% not okay.
Does anyone moral standard allow for that?
No.
Allow for what?
Does your moral standard allow you to go to specifically a poor country?
Not mine personally. No.
All right, good, great. We're getting leaps and bounds. Anyway,
and then the other question about submission. Does everybody agree on that about submission?
No, I think we all differ.
I have an African and I was raised on Christian values, and men are supposed to lead. They have the responsibility to lead and protect their families. If my family is under threat, I am the one that's going to jump in front of them and take care of it. I'm not expecting the children or the woman to go and do that. So that is,
Obi.
Huh?
We're not disputing that. What we're saying is, are women supposed to submit to a man? I mean, I believe in cooperation.
That word is so fraught.
But let me just say something. There are women who believe in submission, biblical submission, and they talk about it how they want to talk about it. And there are men who want submissive women. I don't have a problem. Again, I don't care how you structure your relationship, but I do believe there are trade-offs. And it's annoying to me when men are like, "Oh, I am the leader," and people say mutual submission. That's not how I read the Bible, but
there are trade-offs, actually. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, so there are trade-offs. And I feel like for a lot of people who want submission, they don't want to actually do what is required on the other end of whatever that submission is. I don't believe in submission, but from a sort of bird's eye view looking in, like you have to, if you're going to uphold the patriarchy, uphold the patriarchy. Do your part. Go in front of the gun. Go take the bullet. Like when you hear a rattle in the night, go downstairs.
I personally believe that a lot of women I've talked to, even like the average modern independent women, when I talk to them for a long time, they will say they want a functional patriarchy where they're not treated where they have rights and able to express themselves.
Yeah, but by the way, the reason I'm not defining submission for anyone in the chat is because when we start defining submission, a lot of people try to weasel out of it, and it's about who is above whom.
Who has the final say in decisions and stuff like that?
That's how I define it. Regardless of
So
you gotta go.
I do.
You said what, Aaron?
I was gonna say, I think it's. I don't like that question. Like, do you want somebody to commit because it's contingent on a personal relationship and how they view submission? One thing I will say is that we can't change. Well, you can, but let's keep it real with the definition of submission. That means to yield to a greater force. When it comes to me and my household, I don't need my lady to yield to me. I you know what I'm saying? I'm more cooperation. We have mutual respect for each other. You know, and let's be clear, it's rooted in patriarchy. And you can disagree with me, but it's rooted in patriarchy.
So for the brothers with who want to go with biblical submission, you want to go with biblical submission, and directly after that verse, it says 5 times
submit to each other.
Yeah, it says to love her. In order for you to get that submission, you have to love her, and not in the way that we may think that love is, but love her through flaws and all. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of the time that we go into the relationship thinking that you're automatically supposed to submit to me because I am the man, but without that love piece.
That's not how that works.
Exactly.
I don't believe a penis is a mantle of leadership.
Period. Exactly.
I don't believe that at all. Like having a penis does not give you a right to be a leader. You have to have the ability to lead to be able to lead.
Yeah, 100%. I see it every day.
Men and women are free to do what they want. If they choose to follow the other, nothing is wrong with how Actually, I'm not going to finish this. But however, I will ask this question. It's not a question, it's a comment. What I don't understand is I know this very successful woman, and she's like, uber successful. She's my mentor, one of my mentors. And she was dating this guy who was like hell bent on getting her to submit. I don't know why she was dating him, because whatever. Do you think it's fair to ask women who have made it in their lives and their careers to take the leadership of a man who has not accomplished much?
It's not fair at all.
Not at all.
All right.
That's
Good.
challenging.
Down with the patriarchy.
I would tell the dude to go find someone that can submit to him and not try to force someone who doesn't want to do it.
Okay, so you guys believe people should be equally yoked?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
100%. My wife and I
Find
are
people that
equally
agree with you
yoked.
and,
Oh, yeah,
and
100%.
work with them.
Period.
Well-
Let's do the equally yoked conversation.
Well, Timus, and I'd ask this question too in regards to her being successful in dating. You know, it's we talk about submission, but is the dude she was dating, was he giving an environment for her to be submissive? If she's the one that's making the most money,
she's not submissive in any way of the word.
And here we go. At the end of the day, you want submission, or you create an environment for your lady to be submissive?
Her income like tripled his. Her moral standards is way better. Like she lives. I don't know how they. I don't know how they met. Discussion submission. What is your spiritual foundation? Who do you submit to? I'm hopefully everyone here submit to God before they want someone to submit to them.
Absolutely.
I'm kidding. If your basis for submission is the Bible, I hope that you are also a Christian. If your basis is something else, then you can explain.
And if you get married, I hope you're a Christian.
Wait, why?
Well, listen, you know what I'm saying? If we doing the marriage the way that they trying to do it here not here, but in the US, that's based on the Bible though. The way that they're doing marriage in the US is based on the Bible. But
I'm not
There's
pushing.
two phases to
I'm
marriage.
actually wait. I'm not pushing for any reason outside of like I don't understand what that means.
There's two phases to marriage. There's the biblical marriage that you do under God, and then there's the marriage that you do in the court office. So
I'm sorry. I'm more like because I'm outside of the church and I'm trying to get back in. Like I just see Bible as like this sort of transactional relationship, marriage.
Nah.
My bad. My bad. I mean, drag me for it. Like I think it's about like, well, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. Submission is accepting one's own will is inferior to the will of another. The only man who would require or exact a woman must himself have will marginally less weak than hers. I think if you have to ask for it, if you have to ask someone to be submissive, I would agree with you. Like if you have to ask someone to be, please, can you let me lead? Okay,
Then you already not.
No.
You already failed.
That's why the people are twerking on the internet talking about women won't let them lead. I'm like, wait.
That is the problem. If you have to ask someone to let you lead, if somebody has to let you lead, that should tell you you're not a leader. Because if you have leadership qualities and you have somewhere you're going, if you have a vision and a plan and a home for somebody to move into, and you find a woman that wants to follow you there, then she can follow you there. If you guys have a shared vision of where both of you want to go, then you can do that too.
As a woman raised with Caribbean men, submission comes with respect, and both parties are the driving force of household, not treading on anyone. By the way, thank you. As someone who grew up in Jamaica, I've never seen so much abuse in my life. Like in person as a child, watching women interact with men. It was bad. They were fighting each other. It was not pretty. Submission is ridiculous. If your basis is the Bible, have you studied? No. She's a biblical scholar, to some degree. All
right, fellas. I'm about to jump off here, man. I'm done shaking the room.
Thank you. We do appreciate you coming in with controversy. I do appreciate it. I like having a difference of opinion.
No, I appreciate you, Timus, for having these open discussions, man, and trying to be the moderator. But I'm gonna leave it off at this though, man. I agree. Women don't need to be no submission. Like forget submission. Women need to have the option to do whatever they want. If they want to be feminist, if they want to be traditional, whatever, that's what it's about nowadays. So it gives men the option to choose to work on themselves. If women choose to be, separate via feminism or any other ideology that they may have, or if they want to come together traditionally, then something need to be negotiated on that end. But I'm saying everybody got the right to figure it out. So I'm out.
Have a good one.
All right, y'all. Peace. Get y'all later.
Peace.
All right, so for the rest of this, you guys will have time to. Is there anything that you guys want to address that you think that I'm unfair with, that I need to work on, that I need to do more of? I am open to critique publicly. Thank you, Inola. I'm butchering your name. I'm so sorry. Nope. Themis, there's not going to push against you because they can, whether or not they call you a fruitcake. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I think you're doing exactly what you need to do.
Huh?
I think you're doing exactly what you need to do. You're a breath of fresh air. I told you I try to, I'm a graduate degree trying to achieve it. So I'm in and out when you have your lives, but I appreciate everything that you do, honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We didn't get to this, but it's fine. If you see the tabs, it's a ton of stats that I wanted to go through. Thank you, Chris, for this. The leading cause of death for Black men ages 1 to 44 is homicide. If we went back to white men, it's unintentional injury or something like that. Hopefully we start having better approach to how we deal with each other. I don't know how we go about doing that, but I do want us to continue to have these conversations. I am encouraged that the women actually showed up today to listen in on this conversation, even though they didn't really get a voice. I will try to facilitate a women's discussion on the Black community. I feel like I don't have to do that at all. But you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you all for coming. And before we go, you guys can have a round and say your final thoughts. 3 hours. We did well. Go ahead. Let's start with Aaron, OB, and then go that way.
Final thoughts. I definitely think as Black men, and I say it all the time without, comments of calling me a simp, whatever. I've heard it all. It's like, oh, you only take Black women's side. As Black men, we just have to do better collectively, and I think at times I think it's a losing battle, because you can have so many Black men that are trying to do right, and then the collective is overtaking us. So, but I think as a whole, mentorship is a big thing. We mentioned that. And also learning ourselves. I think as Black men, a lot of us truly don't know ourselves and what we've gone through. That's where therapy comes in.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Obi?
Themis, thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed this. And I was just about to say I need to go do some daddy time. So good timing. I believe in Black male leadership. I believe in male leadership. I believe it's on us to build our community. And we can do what we are doing. We actually have the capacity to build a community, to support our women and to protect our children. And we can build a good community. I know a lot of people think we cannot. I know a lot of people think there's no community, but people of like minds that actually know that there is a community and know that we're going to be treated as a community regardless of what we think or do. We should come together to be loud, consistent voices in upholding Black male leadership and supporting the success of our women as they work with us to build a functional society where our kids can actually thrive and prosper. Thank you guys for having me here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you all, by the way. I think it's low. I'm just going to say low. Yes, Themis. But thankfully, I learned to see. Thank you, Themis. Love hearing wise gentlemen speak. Yeah, I was extremely encouraged tonight, like extremely encouraged. Go ahead.
So I'll say before we even start working on the community, a lot of individuals got to work on self first, right?
Exactly.
I think that's a huge angle that we miss is self, because in the Black community we have lost our masculinity, things that is out of our control sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're constant. That's why people gravitate towards manosphere-esque communities, because they think that's what masculinity is, and that's further from the truth. Exerting yourself on other people is not what masculinity is. And once they find out what it truly is to be themselves and fix whatever damage was done in the past, and then they can start going out to the community. Because what tends to happen is these individuals are reckless and they go out and try to think they're saving community where they're doing further harm. So my thing is always work on self first, because that is the most important thing a person could discover is themselves.
Yeah. Appreciate the thought. We need to have more of these messy conversations openly. Go ahead. I think, who was next? Is it S&W?
SW.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask in the middle of the panel was, because oftentimes this conversation of leadership comes up. So my whole belief is not necessarily like working with adults, because I was taught most adults are set in their ways. And so my thing was,
yes.
how do we cultivate that in my generation, the people behind me who are still in high school? So how do you structure that environment so that you can cultivate that within them? Because we can talk about B all the time, but we have to talk about A first, which is upbringing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Themis, I know you had to cut me off. I'm sorry if I upset you. I guess I was just speaking on a topic I was ignorant about, because I really don't know a dang thing about it.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You didn't upset me at all. I was not upset one minute.
But yeah, that was the conclusion that I came to a while ago. So I'm not really worried about adults, like people who are older than me and stuff like that, older than 22, say.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the people behind, because they are going to be the ones who will eventually take my place, and they'll have their own set of issues to deal with. But leadership is required to fix those issues.
Yeah. When women go to Jamaica for boyfriends or husband, is it looked at as abusive or it is predatory? It is very disgusting. And there is a ton of STDs, particularly in Jamaica, being brought there by people from overseas because they want the BBC or whatever they want to call it. It is absolutely disgusting. Men and women can be dragged equally for this. It's not good. No, I thought it was a white thing. I didn't actually know like there were black people talking about this, so it's actually really annoying. Go ahead. I at this point you corrected me too many times, so you would now have a permanent spot whenever you feel like coming up. Go ahead.
All right, so I agree with the guy who just spoke previously that we need to focus as much of our resources as possible on making sure that the youth are protected and that they're given the education that they need in order to thrive, and that it's kind of really difficult changing the minds of full-grown adults. Like anybody over 30, you're really like doing a lot of work to try to change their minds. We have to find like-minded people and focus a lot of our resources on making sure that everybody under us are protected and given the resources that they need in order to thrive and create their own community based on the world that we live in order to create something better than what we had in the past.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my kind of mindset when it comes to what we need to do as the current leaders, us in our 20s and 30s. We're essentially the current leaders who have to make the change because everybody above us is kind of like done with their job technically.
Yeah. I appreciate this dialogue. Thanks, gentlemen. Yeah, no, I do too. This was a great idea, London. Is your Valentine, or what's his name, can come up if you want. Joseph Valentine, bring him. Yeah, is he there? He can just click the link and come up. And now there was one. London, go ahead. Unless you don't have anything to say.
No, actually, I just hope that going forward, I guess we start to support each other more, because I think some of this is also the fact that guys seem like they're always in competition with each other, and I think that's weird to me. If we're gonna build a community, that we're always gonna be like in competition. So I think we should definitely start supporting each other more, which would actually help us for, like I said, businesses and things like that. Or just like Obi said, if we got information somebody else don't got, start giving this information to other people. As far as the younger guys, man, just help with who you can, who's going to listen to you. I remember I used to be a manager at Walmart a couple years back, and I found out a lot of the younger guys didn't know what credit scores and stuff like that was. So every day at work, while we're unloading trucks, I would go over stuff with them. That way, they at least had somebody trying to tell them this knowledge. So you can only do what you can. That's pretty much all I got to say.
Yes, LB, you can time him out if he doesn't come up. But yeah. Someone go ahead.
Oh, I said I was going to leave with a quote, that I try to live by. He who saves a single soul saves the entire universe. We do what we can, so that one person you help, you never know. And that's just a way that I live my life. And
I appreciate that. I actually need to adopt. I think I heard my grandmother said something like that one time, and I do need to adopt that because lately I've been feeling discouraged on YouTube from a lot of the conversation with men, but like tonight, you guys came and showed out, and like I actually really I was smiling most of the time because I felt like, okay, I am not alone. It's not because I'm a quote unquote fruitcake mate that I feel this way. Like there are other people, men specifically, who are like, yeah, this is not good. So like I truly appreciate that you guys came. Like this gave me a lot of like fuel. And please email me, all of you. Hopefully just email me your name and say you are on the panel. And so I can email you guys back and we can probably set up something else and figure this out. But like I would like to keep this going. Yeah, thank you all. Have a wonderful
Can I clarify something, Themis?
Go ahead.
So down in the comments, sorry, I'm sick. There was somebody saying they just gonna throw us old heads away. My thing is the younger generation is in more need than the adults like who are older than me. So it's not necessarily that you get thrown away. It's like if you want to help, then help, like whatever way you can. That's all I was saying.
Joseph, I don't. Why do people super chat to be weird? I don't understand why people do this. Like, it's not harmful. Like, it is literally not. Don't block him. Let him waste his super. I don't know why anyone.
He's a Hebrew Israelite.
Oh God! Oh God!
I don't understand. Like, here, money in your face. It's like, what? Like, oh, thank you. I mean, it doesn't make. Do not block him. Let him do. I'm going to be donating. So, like, this is great. Thank you all. Let me go to the after show because for the after show, I'm going to watch Mahogany Pink's video. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you guys are still here. So Mahogany Pink apparently dropped the video while I was live. if you're here, you can watch it with me, but please, please, please promise that you will go over there and watch it. Again, I don't know what this is, but let's see. I was really encouraged. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing yet. People could be lying, but I want to say thank you, London. This was a great, great, great idea. I truly appreciate you for pushing me to do this. So the mod meeting does come up with something. Yeah, OMG, she dropped a new video. All right, let's watch it together and see.
The pick-me, or more affectionately known in Blackistan as the pick-misha, is a black woman who goes out of her way to...
Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear it?
I can hear it. I don't know if they can.
Let me know if you guys can hear the video.
I will say the production value is A1.
Oh yeah, no, she is on it. She is on it. If a man giving free haircut to young boy who had a job interview can help them feel more confident, anything done sincerely can help. Yeah, yeah. Volume is low. Let me actually check something. I'm going to share screen again. I apologize. I'm not the technology person.
I was actually hoping you used the soundboard more tonight and had gunshots going off and stuff, but I guess we couldn't hear it.
I couldn't. People said they couldn't hear it, so I didn't. Let me know if you guys can hear now.
Get the approval and attention of black men, even if, or especially when, she can throw other...
Can you guys hear it? I think it might be. Let me try this. I think it's my fault. This is why. All right, her voice is really soft too.
Or more affectionately known in Blackistan as the pick-misha, is a black woman who goes out of her way to get the approval and attention of black men, even if, or especially when, she can throw other black women under the bus to acquire said approval or attention. The pick-me's core principle is to defend the position of black men as the de facto rulers over black women, with little regard for its logic and even less regard for the harm it causes black women, pick-mishas included.
I think the biggest mistake black women are making is we don't know how to shut up.
Black women's ideological framework is as diverse as our appearances and occupation, but as long as these different points of view exist without infringing on the social, political, or economic rights of other black women, there can be some semblance of harmony, some amicability. But when some black women take on ideals that are in any way a tangible threat to other black women, those beliefs should be...
All right. You guys said it was fine at first, but now it's bad. So we're not good. I was going to react to it in real time, but let's do this. That is the link. You guys go over and watch it. I will go over and watch it. I usually watch her video a couple of times. I usually don't have much to comment on after watching it. So just go over there and watch it. Show her a lot of love, and I will do the same. Thank you guys so much for a wonderful night. I truly appreciate the fact that you guys really came and supported this chat. So thank you. Do you have anything else, London?
No, hopefully we can get more. I do think that the guys actually were genuine, at least the ones who were, on point. Well, I think DT actually was genuine too. I think he really believed what he said, so that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. He did.
I mean, it's good that we saw in real time other men saying no. So that's also good. I appreciate you. I can't tell you how much I'm glad you actually made me do this. So thank you again. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'm excited again. So anyway, have a wonderful night. Bye. Go watch Mahogany Pink's new video.